Hey, what's up, everyone? This is the H870 Podcast. Hey, this is Gary Finn, and I'm with you today for episode 21. I can't believe it. 21. We're 21 episodes old. So that's wild. So, hey, listen, we have an Instagram, we have a YouTube, we have a Facebook, we have a TikTok, we have all those things. So go follow us on all the socials. And make sure you go back and listen to the episodes that you've missed. You can start at number one, listen to my good friend Steven, or maybe you want to jump on over there to listen to Daryl Sykes again, whatever you want to do. So, as far as announcements go, there is a show on August 23rd at Cregan's with our good friends, The Delirium Effect. They will be releasing their EP. That is their EP release show. And it will be joined with Grandma Chandelier, I'm the Catalyst, and Sleuthfoot, and our friends from Cape Girardeau, Scatterguns, are the Scatterguns. So make sure you come down for that. But as far as further announcements, I don't know of any at this point. The support of the local bands, buy up their merch, go see the shows, do all those things. But apart from that, I just really want to kind of get to it. So that's what we're going to do. So, hey, listen, I want to introduce my very good friend, Mr. Abe Foster.
What's up,
What's up,
everybody?
buddy? This is episode 21, dude.
Let's do it.
What a beautiful day. We are here. This is great. Hey, did you catch the Olympics by any chance, like the skateboarding at all?
I watched the men's finals in the street
I did too.
because it was on at a good time that I wasn't doing anything.
I thought Nigel was gonna take it.
Yeah, Yuto definitely pulled that trick out of the bag.
Yeah,
so,
what the heck, dude?
Yeah, second time winning it and stuff like that. Such a long conversation. If I
Yeah,
watch the Olympics and then support all the competition skateboarding and stuff like that,
it's wild.
it's a sport now.
It's
Which
a
is
sport now,
weird.
So I'm kind of like going like I can hear Ian Mackay in my left ear going, "Hey, skateboarding is not a sport. It's an art form and a form of expression." So, but in my right ear, I'm like, "Yeah, I'm kind of stoked to see where skateboarding has come." So, but it's exciting nonetheless, and I'm always stoked to see. What it's kind of like for me, it's kind of like seeing Tony Hawk, pro skater, kind of like take shape and form. It's turned into a reality. Like the things I used to be able to pull off on Tony Hawk Pro Skater, now they're just doing, via Nigel Houston, whatever he's doing, like was a Nelly Hill flip to, I don't know, nose blunt slide. I don't know what it was, but anyway, it was sick. So I had to get that out of the way. I'm sorry.
Of course.
So
of
hey,
course.
listen, I want to kind of get to the boardscape company type stuff. I want to kind of wait till later. I think we really should dig into some 870 mythology, some folklore, talk about the bands, talk about your duty as a scene person back in the I don't know, was it late 2000s or early 2010s? Was that what it was?
No, it was pre-2010.
Pre
I graduated in 2010.
pre 2010? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's no mythology. It's all facts.
It's all facts. Okay.
All facts. I spit
Okay.
nothing but facts.
Okay. Okay. So we're gonna get into Clifford. I'm just gonna give you like the mic. So, but where do you like to start? Would you like to start with Clifford, or would you like to start where you started playing, where you kind of found the interest of like playing in bands and that type of thing?
Yeah, we could do that. I mean, obviously, it's got started way before I was in Clifford. Clifford was one of the last things I was
I
in.
gotcha. Okay.
Technically and not technically, I guess.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I guess as far as bands in the 870, yeah.
Wait, I mean, well, let's start here. When, and where did you find like hardcore? Like, or where did it find you? Or what's the
So 13.
13 years old?
13, start skateboarding.
Love it.
Obviously, listening to Linkin Park, Slipknot. One of the first CDs I ever bought was Blink-182, Take Off Your Pants and Jacket.
Beautiful.
And I still have that actual CD. I don't have the case anymore, but I still have the CD.
Cool.
Even though my truck doesn't play CDs anymore, I still have it somewhere in storage. But
Nice.
so that's where it got started, obviously listening to heavier music. And then, man, I started going to shows like when Powerhouse was on Main Street.
Oh gosh, man.
Like I saw This World, This Grave with Danny and Benny. And then,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
Throwback, huh?
Wow. Yeah, they just blew my mind. Yeah.
And then, yeah, just from there, because those were $2 shows, and I was always skateboarding downtown. It's back before they, tore down that skate park downtown. So I was always skateboarding, and then I would go up to the Powerhouse and go to the show.
Yeah, because like we played the Metal Fest like a couple weekends ago, and we were walking to Jordan's car, and I had this flashback like where he parked. That was the old like skate park in Jonesboro.
Oh yeah,
I could not. I was like, I totally forgot about that spot.
no, it was great. That's like where I first started skateboarding, essentially.
Wow, wow. So who this world, this grave? Oh my gosh, dude. That was is that Danny and Benny?
Yeah,
Oh dang, man, that's crazy.
and a couple more people. I'm not
Yeah,
too
yeah,
good with
yeah.
names.
So you went to
Was
two.
Justin Franks in it?
I would say yes.
Then I
I
think
would say
so.
yes. I wonder if that's the band where they wore like the Batman mask, or is that the?
I think
or
I
is
probably
that-
caught a show or two of that,
uh,
but that was when I was like,
s-
that's way before I even like got to be friends with Danny,
okay.
and before Get Over It, before Clifford. I mean, that was way back in the day.
So you were skateboarding to shows at the Powerhouse on Main Street.
Yeah,
That's where we kind of like fell into it.
and then going to Memphis hardcore shows with like Jimmy. I mean,
So
it's
you were going at 13.
13, 14, 15. Yeah, I was going to
Yo,
hardcore shows. I mean, I
yo.
started booking bands when I was 15 years old.
How cool was that, man? Do you remember the first show you booked at all?
So I did the Clifford comeback show before I was even in the band. I had like, this was on MySpace, and I like messaged random people from Memphis to like make me a flyer that was like an iPad or an iPod, like an iPod video.
Okay.
And I want to say I'm the Catalyst was on that show, but I can't
Rad.
remember who all was on it. But this was before I was playing in bands. I was booking shows because
Rad.
Josh Rayborn had J-Town booking,
Yep.
and he kind of was like, "Hey, do you want to take this over?" And I was like, "Absolutely." And that's kind of where I got my
Wow.
start in booking shows. And yeah, I was booking at like 15 years old before I could drive.
Wow.
I was like working with grown men.
So you're riding up with Jimmy to Memphis shows to hardcore. So would those have been like your first like hardcore show like in person type?
Like I guess if you want to go to like hardcore punk route, yeah, 100%. Like I saw Clench Fist, and
Yeah.
I think that just kind of
That
turned a switch
that
on me,
was it. That
and
was
that was
it.
it. And I saw Modern Life is War at Spam do a front flip into the crowd, and I
Whoa.
think that's like in my head that I was like, yeah, this is it for me, and it's been the way ever since.
So was it Clench Fist and Modern Life as War in that show?
I couldn't tell you
Dude,
honestly. I just remember
ain't it
I will
crazy?
always remember that moment, just seeing him do that, and Clench Fist was always just tough as nails, like roaches, baby.
Oh my gosh, dude. So I can imagine being 13 years old. I mean, dude, I didn't find Modern Life as War until later. And I'm like thinking, man, if I was 13 and I saw them, I'd be hooked from that moment. And they're still like just like,
I mean, that was probably 14, 15,
but
but like my
still though,
first time getting into shows was like 13.
but still though, that's so crazy. So you're all in 13, 14, 15 years old, traveling back and forth from Memphis with Jimmy. Shout out Jimmy. I ain't talked to Jimmy in forever,
Shout out
man.
Jimmy Harvey.
Yo, we need to get him on sometime. So booking shows at 15, going to hardcore shows 13, 14, 15 years old. Okay. So when
In
did you,
Jonesboro.
in
That's the
Jonesboro?
crazy thing to think about.
I know, 'cause I always revisit that, right? I'm always like, I always go back to that. I go, all this happened in Jonesboro at our, in our neck of the woods. I never would have like thought. You know what I'm saying? I think it's typical. It's kind of like, because I feel like I think, yeah, okay, Little Rock, okay, Memphis, but but you think like Jonesboro, you know, Paragould.
We were a stop.
Yeah, we were stuck.
We were a stop. Like if I look at tours all the time and I see how, the map has changed throughout all the years, and like we were a stop.
Yeah, absolutely. And we absolutely were. I took a screenshot today because like, 'cause we got talking before we got recording about, I got thinking about the shows and, I saw, I got thinking about that Have Heart show because, Jeremiah, he got a hold of me and he's like, they needed a spot. I don't know why they couldn't do it in Memphis. I don't know what was up. It was like in late December. I think it was a couple of days after Christmas. And so, and he wanted to know if we'd had that, do the show at the Commonwealth. And and I remember, like, I think that I took this screenshot. It's like an old Lamb Goat post, and it says like Harm's Way and Convicted, coming through, like here are the tour dates. I think that was the second date, and there it is. It's like the first date was probably, I don't know, probably Nashville, and the next date it says Jonesboro, Commonwealth. I'm like, why? How? I think about that. I go, because I was trying to think. We got Have Heart, we had Ceremony, we got Harm's Way. I'm like, no one would ever believe that.
No,
No, no one would ever believe
it's
that.
still wild to think about. To
And
be completely honest.
ceremony came through twice.
Yeah, I played with them that one time.
Hey, you want to talk about that one time?
We can get into it later. That's definitely down the road.
All right, so let's talk about where you kind of started to play, where you kind of got the itch to play music. Like, when did that begin, do you think?
So 13. It
Okay.
all started 13 years old is such a pivotal time. I think, you're
Sure.
getting into junior high. At least that's how it is in Northeast Arkansas. I know other places it's not.
Right.
But yeah, skateboarding, and then got into heavier music. And I was in band in junior high, but the only way I'd be in band is if I played drums, was on drumline, because
Oh, cool.
I saw that Nick Cannon movie and was like, that's what I gotta do. And
That's awesome.
I like
What was-
hitting things really hard, so that's
I love
pretty
it.
fun.
I
And
love it.
got into playing drums in school, and then ultimately just went to kit. And then, which is
Nice.
funny enough, because I played in some bands on the drums, but Clifford, that was J-Bo.
Oh yeah, for real.
And nobody's replacing him, so I did vocals. I mean, like, so I played drums, but it was like I ended up just doing all vocals for bands in Jonesboro. So notable bands. I obviously did projects and stuff like that no one ever heard of, but
So who did you kick off with, as far as like?
we had a band called Moment of Truth that I played with one of my best friends, Devin, back in the day.
Okay.
That was fun. I think we played one or two shows, played at the Craighead band show. Get Over It played that show as well.
Nice.
We did like a birthday thing for someone.
Moment of
And-
truth. Okay.
And then we played at the YMCA with Thin Ice from Memphis came through. And I know Clifford. I think Clifford played that show, Get Over It, obviously before I was in the band. And then maybe after the altar,
Okay.
couldn't tell you for sure, but I know Thin Ice played that gig, and my brother actually played, like my little brother played guitar with us that show. He
No
lived
way.
in Little Rock, but he was up that weekend and he played guitar, really wicked guitarist. And we were like, hey, do you want to play with us this weekend? And
Oh
we
wow,
you
man!
can
How
learn the
cool!
songs.
How
So
cool!
my brother played his first show ever with us, and he ended up playing in bands in Little Rock like forever. And now
Dude.
he plays in churches and stuff around here now.
For real,
So that's a cool little core memory that I have, experience with my brother.
dude. So, so that was Moment of Truth. Now, you were just doing vocals for these guys.
No, I did drums.
You did drums for those guys. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And then I really didn't start making my way to vocals until, man, I had projects where I did vocals, and then we never played a show, or we
Okay.
just fell apart and stuff like that. But then, like, I think vocals were Get Over It and Clifford kind of simultaneously.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you which one was first. I think it was definitely Clifford, and then I went to Get Over It, or maybe it's the other way around. I can't remember.
It's tough. It's tough to kind of go back and think about. But so how long did Moment of Truth last?
Oh, not long, like 2 shows. That's it.
2 shows.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't start really playing live a lot until I was like 17, 18 years old.
Okay.
And then,
So did you go on hiatus for a while after Moment of Truth before? When was the next thing that kind of started up, as far as a?
I mean, I did projects like jammed with people and stuff like that. And during that time, I was just like merch guy for Get Over It. Like, they practiced at my house. And if Jackson didn't show up to practice, I'd play drums
I got you.
for Get Over It. And I think in the Get Over It's entire tenure, I missed 3 shows at all. I was always on the road with them, either to Memphis, Mississippi.
I was gonna ask because like everybody knows them for like playing shows around here, but they did play shows like in Memphis and like you said, Mississippi, and I know that because I can remember Rayborn talking about. I could have swore him talking about like them playing shows in Memphis.
Oh yeah, we stayed in Memphis. We made friends with the guys that were in Assume the Worst and then turned to Eyewitness. And
Oh
I even
yeah, oh
filled in for
yeah.
them on some shows with drums, like before I was in Get Over It. So I remember, I think it was Bring That Bump Fest. We played in Memphis. So Get Over It played, but Eyewitness needed a drummer.
Okay.
So I asked my mom to drive me to Memphis and drop me off with, with Garrett. And I think we stayed at Al's parents' house, and I practiced the night before with them, and then played the show the next day. So I like
Wow,
learned their
man.
songs and then went the next day.
It's so cool being that accessible, like to people,
Oh yeah, I've always been like a gun for hire. Like if somebody needs something done, like that's how I did a tour with I Was Afraid.
That's
Back when I was
awesome,
in
man.
college on drums, they just like posted, "Hey, we need a drummer," and I asked all my professors. I was like, "Hey, can I miss this week of school?" It was the week before spring break, and they were like, I had to have a sit down meeting with each of my
So
professors.
who is the band?
I Was Afraid.
I
They're
was
from Little Rock.
okay. So where'd you guys end up going?
So it was 5 or 7 days. I can't remember. We did some dates in Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri. I don't have the
That's
flyer,
awesome though.
but we went on tour with a band called Sad Armor. Shout out to those guys.
Very cool. Very cool.
I was actually talking to one of them today. He prints T-shirts, so he printed up a really cool graphic.
Because that's something I noticed about you too. You really stay connected to those who are even back then. You're still connected to all these guys and everything. There's like the ties are still strong with all these guys. It seems.
Oh yeah, I mean, to me, it's we're friends. I mean, like look at us.
I
I
know, I
mean,
know.
like
It's so wild, because it's those especially I touch base with my skateboarding friends like every week. We're all scattered, but it's like we're still connected. That's one thing. Skateboarding and hardcore is kind of what connected us from at the very beginning. So I mean, like we're just kind of checking in from time to time how everybody's doing. Um, so you're in. So I want to kind of get into like where you start where you start doing like the vocal thing, like far as with like Get Over It. I mean, so you're in, you do Moment of Truth, you play 2 shows, and then after that you said you're like the merch guy for Get Over It
yeah. So
for a
I
little bit.
did merch and then just road dog for all of them, and then played shows,
Okay.
filled in randomly on drums. Like I played a show at the Krusty Krab one day. Just playing drums, filled in.
How
Jackson.
fun were those shows?
They were great. They were in Jackson Sifford's parents' basement, which is across the street from my buddy Wes's house. Shout out to Wes. And, so whenever Wes is back in town from Nashville, I go to his mom's house to see them, and I get to look at the Krusty Krab across the street. And I'm like, remember when we used to play shows there?
Is that this? Are they still there? Or are they moved off?
I think they're moved off because, funny story, like my parents actually looked at that house
No
a lot.
way.
And before I knew it, I would have been like, yeah, you need to buy that. And then I'll just send you away on weekends and I'll book shows here.
No doubt.
But, yeah, so but during that time before I started playing shows again, I booked shows. Like
I
that
got you.
that was
Okay.
like the thing
Okay.
I did. Like I booked a couple bands
Okay.
at Get Down, and then at your place when you were on Main Street at the Party Room, right? That's
Yeah, yeah, because I keep forgetting the name of that spot. It was the Party Room, and that was a nice. I wish that venue would have stayed around for a while. He kept upping our rent,
oh
not
yeah.
not our rent, but he kept upping every time we rented out. Yeah, like nights like these would come. There was like there's like you know 150, 200 kids. He's like, uh-huh. So, um,
I mean, you let me book Lion of Judah there, which was dope.
it's crazy to think about the bands that kind of came through there, and you think, yo, this is Jonesboro.
Yeah, I mean, Get Down was funny too.
Yeah.
You paid $350 and you could rent the space for that Saturday to book a show. That's how I was doing it
Yep.
as like a 15-year-old
It's nuts, dude.
booking a show, just being like, yeah, I'll give you $350 and then I'm gonna have a bunch of bands come through and play.
That's absolutely right. All right, so okay, so you're busy booking shows. So when do you kind of step in for responsibilities, like for vocal responsibilities for Get Over It?
Well, I'm gonna wait to get into that.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right, so when I was booking shows, we had Trapped Under Ice come through
Okay.
and Trash Talk. You know who Trapped Under Ice is,
I
right?
do, but like I don't remember this show happening though.
So that's the show that my teeth got knocked out. There's some lore. That was that one.
No.
Yeah.
Where was that at?
Get Down.
That was at Get Down?
Mm-hmm. That's why these three are fake.
Trapped Under Ice. Trash Talk. Now I remember. No. Okay, so I remember the flyer. No, wasn't Losha that like broke his arm
I think Losha broke his arm at Get Down.
at Get Down. He tried to do like a backflip thing off the wall.
Like-
Oh man.
Like, we had a lot of stuff going on at Get Down. They never truly got their flowers because they like kind of stopped letting us book shows there after people kept getting hurt. But I mean, we had Bitter End play there, Clinch Fist, Dead City. That was then. I mean,
Wow.
Sick of It? No, not Sick of It. Oh man.
Don't I wish?
Yeah, yeah. Right? Oh, what's that one band? Oh, I can't remember. I can't remember who booked it. I mean,
But how in the world did you get Trapped Under Ice and Trash Talk there?
emailing people.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. I don't know how I got involved. I still have the email, like the J-Town booking email. It's like my spam email now, but I still have all my emails from back in the day.
Do you really?
Oh yeah, it's great. So I was emailing Andy Rice, which was from Meltdown. He was the drummer from Meltdown.
I remember those
Sorry
guys.
to name drop, but
No,
but-
dude. Yeah.
And then,
I like that.
So I would just email him and just be like, "Hey, you got anything coming through?" And I had a lot of stuff lined up before the show happened, and everything got.
Really?
They shut down Get Down, yeah.
Well, that sounds familiar. That Meltdown dude sounds really familiar.
Good dude, man. I mean, we would talk about tour packages and what we could offer them. At one point, like I even got some. I'd have to look, which I didn't, but I should have before coming here. Like, I think My Children, My Bride. I was talking about someone like their rider was just like ridiculous and stuff like that. And I was like, dude, I
Really?
can't afford this. Like,
What? So you were pulling in some big acts, man.
I mean, I had Blacklisted coming later that month after Trash Talk, and then I had Cold World booked for Jonesboro.
Bro.
But then we didn't have a venue, and then so we had to pass that show out.
But still, though, man, that's crazy, though. To think that you got Trapped Under Ice. So
And this was when Stay Cold. I mean, their first EP.
that's nuts, dude. That's
And I'll
nuts.
never forget Jimmy Harvey just being like, "That's gonna be the biggest band in hardcore," and I was like, "Oh,
Whoa,
for real?"
good call, buddy.
And lo and behold, they did. And sick.
Good
So
call.
that's just kind of like what I did in the meantime, before actually.
Before you started doing the vocals and everything.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're busy pulling Trapped Under Ice. So, I mean, I don't care your name drop because like you're kind of connected to dude, right?
Yeah, Justice.
Yeah.
Every time like he would come to Arkansas, even when I was like living in Fayetteville going to college, I would get text messages and just be like, "Hey, Justice is here. Trapped Under Ice is playing. Give you a shout out, or where you at?" And I'm just like, I got a test tomorrow. Like, sorry, bud. But
That's
I mean,
awesome.
even when they came through and played with like Cruel Hand, and then Bane, I think was on one of the gigs in Little Rock, and got a shout out, and that was super cool to see.
That's unreal, man. That's unreal. Because we all went down to Little Rock to go see.
Drain.
Yeah, we went to go see Drain, and
Well, y'all went to go see Drain.
well, you went to go see
Yeah, Angel Dust.
Angel Dust. We got a chance to kind of catch up with some good dudes down there. And Angel Dust was good, dude. They kind of caught me by surprise because I've listened to their stuff before, but I'm like, I don't know, I'm not sure. I don't really know about them, but like after seeing them and everything, I was like, okay, I like it.
Yeah, that new record's.
Yeah, much respect
Alright.
there. All right, so Abe is busy booking shows, pulling in Trash Talk and Trapped Under Ice. So what other shows did you bring in, like, to the Get Down or to like the Commonwealth? I mean, what other shows were like did you bring into those venues?
So I did Lion of Judah, which is a hardcore band. I believe they were on Locking Out. Nobody
Okay.
was at that show, but that was a buddy in Memphis called me. He's like, "Hey, I need you to take this," and I was like, "I hit you up," and you were like, "Yeah, you can take it." And I was like, "Sick." So
Nice.
and then I was in high school, and then just kind of
Very cool.
went on, and I mean I booked local shows. That was fun. I mean,
Right.
And then obviously I was playing with two bands a little bit after that, and then
Okay.
I went away to college, which
It's
is fun
it's
as well.
nice for like the it's nice to be that guy to like to get the locals like to get the local support for these big bands coming in. You know what I'm saying? So like
For sure.
who was doing local support for those bands like that? Because those like during that era, I mean those are the everybody wanted to kind of like I mean those were the bigger bands at that time. So like did Get Over It get to play open up for any of those
Oh
acts or
yeah,
anything?
oh
Okay.
yeah, that was
Okay.
kind of the thing.
Okay.
Get Over It played, and then we made friends with like the guys in Memphis from Assume the Worst, Eyewitness, you know, so they would come and play
That's
with
nice.
us, and yeah, I mean, we went on the road with them. We were in Memphis every other weekend playing with them.
And that was a kind of a tight knit time with all those guys, because you got That Was Then, you had Dead City going on, Assume the Worst. Like Memphis was like,
Oh yeah, Get Over It played with Veil Maya on a patio on the like on concrete floor at a place called South Park Bar and Grill. After the Altar played that as well, and I'm the Catalyst was supposed to play as well, or
really,
y'all got asked to play and y'all couldn't. I think
really,
that's what Julian was telling me the other day. But yeah, we
no
played with.
way.
I say we because I was about to be in the band or in the band in the future, but I was. They practiced at my house. I went on the road with them, so I say we because those are my dogs. So yeah, I'll never forget that show because that was when we were. Danny was always doing this like 23 Holy Trinity, the Bulls, Scottie
Oh
Pippen,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Rodman,
yeah, yeah.
Michael Jordan. No idea Vela Maya was from Chicago, and they got on and they were like, "Yo, shout out to Get Over It. We're from Chicago," and it was the funniest thing in the world. Like just to have that happen.
I remember a patio show. Why do I remember that? I wonder if that's when we had AJ.
Well, y'all didn't
We didn't
play.
play that one. I think there was something else. That was another show.
I
Uh,
couldn't tell you the date of it, but it was back then. And like I saw Thick as Blood played there too on that same patio, and I think that was like right when Julian got in Get Over It.
oh
Like
wow.
one of the shows he didn't play because we were supposed to have a bassist, and then he just didn't show up to the show. And then I think the next one Julian ended up being with us.
Very cool. Very
I
cool.
think he played. Julian, don't kill me.
Yeah, he played. Yeah, he played a lot of like, and he was kind of like a hired gun too, man.
Julian was the glue that kept this scene together.
He's always
I'm not even joking.
because
That
like
man.
I could have swore he played like in Monolith for a moment or something.
I was in Monolith too.
Oh, what the heck, bro? We're
Oh, I
just.
got kicked out. It's all good.
I was about to say, I was like, we're just one happy family.
Now, Julian is one of my best friends. Shout out to Julian
Yeah, man.
Sanchez.
Yeah,
Uh,
dude.
Great bassist, great musician, and just one of those solid dudes that you need in a band. I mean, I played with Julian in Lunsford, a band that I was in college when he was in Jonesboro, even Oxford, Mississippi, going to grad school. I mean, we were still playing together.
Yeah, he came in like the just when we needed somebody because bass players at that time were really kind of hard to find. And then finding him was just kind of like just right out of nowhere. And I just remember like I was just so like because like finding bass because we were always like we were either minus a vocalist or we were minus a bass player, and that was always our thing. So here we are, and Julian comes out of nowhere playing his fretless bass.
Oh yeah, I remember that bass. He was just kind of like told to be and get over it. Like I think Josh was just like, "Hey, Julian, you're gonna play this show with us," and then
I really feel like I should give Julian the proper like props and everything because like just kind of stepping in and like that's a lot of music and from like a variety like all these variety of bands and to learn all these parts and everything else and it was just like I remember like we get the songs and I kind of show him how like this is kind of like this is kind of the new song and everything else and he would have it like in no time flat. It's just like it's crazy. I was like, which was kind of hard to tell because he's playing a fretless bass. So I just let him be him, man. I just let him just do him, and like, it sounds good, dude. You're not playing out of key or anything like
no,
that.
I mean, I
You're
love
super
Julian to
good, man.
death.
Super solid.
One of my best friends. I talk to him daily, almost.
Daily. That's awesome, dude.
Oh yeah, man, I love him to death, and he did a lot for Jonesboro music scene.
He
Honestly,
has. Yeah, man. Well, Julian was, I appreciate it, buddy. Uh, okay. Uh, all right. So, okay. So you're booking shows for quite a while until do you have any stories from like booking?
nah,
No?
everything's pretty much out on the table.
Everybody's pretty much out on the table. Okay, everything's pretty much out on the table. Okay.
I mean, it was fun. It was fun booking shows. I'd love to get back into it, but that's long ago. So,
Oh yeah.
but it was a fun time. I learned a lot. I think that's something I try to do everything. And that's, what I do now, what I've been doing ever since I was young. It's kind of weird. I think about my life a lot and,
Sure.
just, just be like, oh man, like that is some grown up stuff to do. And I'm not trying to like pat on my back. I don't like to brag or anything like that,
No, no,
but
no.
it's just so funny to like look back and think about like booking shows at 15 years old or whatever. And like, I know a lot of guys that have done it at that age and stuff like that. It's just funny that like I did it in Jonesboro to think about it.
Yeah, like and I think the whole DIY thing is very, very cool. To kind of like kind of make your own luck type of thing and make things happen out of nothing. I think that's what really. I think anybody who's been like in like skateboarding or hardcore will kind of know that like no matter how young you are, like if you want to make something happen, you don't have to wait for anybody's permission. Like you can get things going on your own, whatever it may be. And just sometimes, a lot of times, you don't know that you can do it until you do it. It's like just like you're saying, so hey, how did you get that one show together? You're like, well, I just emailed people, and lo and behold, and it's so wild too. I mean, I don't know if you kind of ever, I don't know if this ever happens to you, but like after you've kind of like, especially at that, I can imagine doing it at that age. I never booked a show at that age, but like I think about how once you, because once you're at the beginning of doing something, I don't know if you felt this way like the first time you booked the show, but like after like it's all over, or when people start paying at the door and bands start showing up, it's like this is wild because like you kind of created something out of nothing, and here it is, people are kind of coming in and kind of partaking like of something that like it's your heart and soul. You're spending all this time and energy. I don't know. I mean, does that make sense to me? I don't know
100%. I mean, you get out of it what you put into it, and you have to put in a lot of hard work to do things sometimes, and especially in an area like we are in, and it's just, put your nose down, grind, and get it
grind,
done.
and it's here, and it's around here you're doing it at, and and I think it's like I remember doing a show. I think one of the first shows I did was at like the Reynolds Park down here in Paragould, and it's so wild to see like after it's all said and done, like you see just like the response. And I think even during that time, I think it was a really good time for like to do what you were doing, especially like far as like I think the zeitgeist was just like perfect because like you got like the scene is like I think nationally you had this like I know you had the MySpace kind of going on there and like hardcore and metalcore is kind of starting to like rev up and Memphis. I mean you saw I mean you were going to shows and everything and like you see like those venues down there like like the Caravan and Bradley down there and so all of a sudden it's like you kind of strike when like it's when everything is kind of hot and when it's there but what's wild is you didn't know it was like as big or I didn't expect the response. I didn't expect as big as a response as I thought I was going to get. I thought it was going to be kind of low key, but people love it and people love like the and people are kind of like digging kind of what was kind of going on and you see kids show up in like black t-shirts and and tattoos and at that time it's seen hair or wherever and everything and so you see this kind of it's like this culture within a culture is like what I'm saying it's like emerging so I just anyway I couldn't imagine that feeling like 15 years old. I mean I think about me at 15 I'm like okay so I'm listening to me at 15 I'm listening to Ice-T and just like listen to my rap tapes. I couldn't imagine like putting together and organizing a show. It's crazy and like I don't know. That's also before like the internet too. So
It was fun. It
it
was a
was
lot of
it was a
fun.
lot of fun.
I like being in stressful situations, I guess, because all that stuff
Right?
was stressful.
And, hey, I listen. Hey, I think there's some truth to that. I think you thrive. There's sometimes like I think about my current job. I'm like, man, just sometimes it's kind of wild. Like the last past 2 weeks have been kind of stressful. But you know what? I wouldn't want to do anything else. It's just like this keeps things kind of this kind of keeps things interesting. Uh, do you talk about? I want to hear like your favorite 870 bands.
Oh, okay. So,
Because I know you're biased to one in particular, but I'll let you get to that.
oh, for sure, for sure. So, I mean, golly, I mean, it's just world champions. I
Right.
mean, they were from Blavel, and yeah.
And fun fact, I thought Abe was in that band, so I apologize.
No, I just ride hard for my friends.
That's awesome, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I loved all the 870 bands. Obviously, we had friends in every single one of them. I mean, but as I've gotten older, music tastes change and stuff like that,
Oh
and
yeah,
I owe a lot of that to my friends.
yeah,
Because that's who you're around all the time. And after Clifford, Get Over It was done. Going to college, fun stuff like that.
sure, yeah.
Things change. I mean, I still listen to hardcore and everything like that. And
What was it about World Champions?
I just think
So who are they? If people don't.
so. World Champs was made up of a bunch of guys. Chad Six Killer, shout out Chad,
Yo,
love you,
shout
bud.
out, bro.
Doug Harlan, Chad Watley, and then Tyson also played bass, and
Okay.
then Andy Pig, shout out Pig.
Wow.
So all these guys played in a band called World Champions. They're from Blytheville, and they played like mid 2000s, early 2000s actual emo music,
Yeah, it's
like
great.
brand new. If you haven't listened to it, go check it out. It's phenomenal. It's just something you wouldn't expect to come out, especially they were doing that when, it was all about synchronized headbanging and, hardcore punk. And then they even had a project called, they had a band, not a project, I apologize, called Goodnight Panda with
Yeah.
Phil Banks. I mean, I watched a video today, I actually sent it to Doug, of them playing at the party room. It was like an 8-minute song
Wow.
of Bamboo Nights, and I sent it to Doug. I'm in a group chat with
I
him.
remember that song.
Oh, dude, yeah. And so, just shout out to them. And
Dude, that's awesome.
yeah, I'm biased to it because I think it really, stood the test of time.
Did they get the love that they really deserved at all? I mean,
So this is the thing about love that they deserve. That
cause
it's like, who cares?
well, no, cause cause I think I never got a chance to see them, or I didn't know who was even in that band. But I hear the songs, I go, surely a lot of people showed up to see these dudes.
I
You
mean,
know what I'm
they had
saying? Because
yeah.
I just don't hear them in conversations. I guess is what I'm saying. And if I was like, because I don't know why not, because they're like it's phenomenal, like super good.
So it's weird. I mean, it's kind of like, trying to word this correctly.
You're
It's like,
good.
like kind of why you didn't know I was in Get Over It,
Exactly.
right? Like
Exactly. Yeah.
it was, and I've had this conversation with a couple of people. Yeah, it was cool to be, front stage, blah blah blah, popular, I guess you would say in this area. But it's like, for me and a lot of people that I know and run around with, it's like, who cares, man? It's like, I did that for me. Like,
Sure. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
doing that I'm doing that for me and my friends. And
Right.
that's, I mean, you can circle that in with like how everything is now and how accessible everything is, and
Sure.
how you can find bands just on Spotify instead of getting a sampler CD
Right.
and being like, oh, I love this band, let me go check it out because you heard one track from one record label that sent you a CD in the mail.
Exactly.
So like,
Exactly.
that's kind of my approach to it. It's like, I have projects and recordings that nobody will ever hear, but they're out there,
Sure.
and I will never play a show, and stuff like that, but it's still out there, and I
Right.
did that for me, my friends, and to express myself
Right.
and everything like that. And I try not to sound like too harsh, like it's just me.
No. 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 No.
But it's like, it's at the end of the day, it's an expression of yourself, and who cares? Who cares what anybody else thinks?
Absolutely. I like that, man. That's. I think it's pure and I think it's sacred. I like that. Much respect. I was like, I was just, and I think what World Champions will look up like when I started listening to it. Like my first thoughts were that, man, we had. I think it's like we had, and I think we still do. I think we're still doing good things around here, but especially back then, I think that really it gave me a sense of being like, man, I'm really proud of like this scene and kind of like being a part of it because like that band was like part of that puzzle. You know what I'm saying? You talk about Goodnight Panda because a lot of times the focus kind of goes straight to like the metalcore bands or the hardcore bands or whatever, but we tend to forget like just like the talent that was existing because that's beautiful emo. Like that's like that first song I listened to that on the way to work like today. That was beautiful. Like I don't know who came up with like I don't know if that's like the legitimate like demo cover on YouTube or whatever. But I was like, how artistic. I mean, that's like, I mean, that was something that could like, Ferret could have like released or whatever, or like Equal Vision. It was just a beautiful, it's like this album cover and this music. It's like the simultaneous thing for the senses, like the sight and sound was like, this is beautiful, dude. And I'm like, I'm so proud of like that this came out of our area. And again, we're kind of emphasizing 870, like this came out of our area, and so and I don't know. I don't know. That was one of those things where I didn't get to. Maybe it's a band that I just want. Maybe it's a band I just barely missed. I didn't get the catch or whatever. Because I mean, I did move out of the area for a little bit, but like, I was like, man, if nobody got to see them or nobody's got to hear them, they're really kind of missing out on something beautiful. And just like you said, even if they don't, it's out there, and they made music, and just like you said, you make music for yourself, which you really should. You really should make music for anyone but yourself. And if other people happen to like it, well, good. That's good too.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely got their flowers. I didn't catch on until later.
I gotcha.
Like, I mean, I saw them play a couple of times, and that was probably just because Doug, I met Doug, and then we started being friends and playing together. Like, so uh, Doug remembers like when Midnight or Goodnight Panda played at one of my first Get Over It shows at the 870 Center, I think. It was some battle of the bands. There's videos on YouTube of it, and they played. And I think like one of mine and Doug's first interactions was like I was like, hey, that was a great set. It was
Sure.
Goodnight Panda. It's dance music,
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh
and
yeah.
it's and I think I was in college when I actually started hanging out with Doug. I was in Fayetteville, and shout out to Jimmy Harvey again. Uh, was friends with Doug. Doug played guitar, and that was when, you know, melodic hardcore was really big. I
Yeah,
was super into the bands like Hill and the Dream, The Carrier, Have Heart, and wanted to start a band like that with Hartley, Julian, uh, Trent Blackshare was in it, and then I texted Doug. I got Doug's number from Jimmy,
yeah.
and they would actually practice at my mom's house when I was living in Fayetteville.
Okay.
So I was in Fayetteville for a semester, that fall semester, and then came back home to ASU for a semester, and we were in a band called Live On. And I
What
was
was it
doing
called?
Live On,
Awesome. Okay.
and I was vocals for that. And then we recorded one track. We played a couple shows. We played with a band called Such Gold down in Conway.
Nice.
And then we played some local shows as well. Jay Bowman ended up coming and playing drums for us. And
Wow.
then, oh yeah,
Wow.
Jay Bo.
Wow.
Jay Kyle, thank you so much for everything you did.
That's awesome, buddy.
And yeah, so then that's just kind of like what set everything off with that friendship, because Doug ended up moving to Fayetteville. He graduated from ASU, ended up moving to Fayetteville with me, Hartley, and some other guys.
Okay.
And then we went on and did a project called Lunsford. We
Okay.
recorded a demo. Julian played bass, guitar. It was Hartley and vocals. Hartley did vocals as well, and Doug did vocals and guitar, and I played drums.
What kind of band was that?
Kind of like emo, like
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
really like Get Up Kids vibes for sure.
Kudos.
Oh yeah, it was a lot of fun. We put out a 3-song demo, and then we opened for Title Fight in Little Rock.
Wow. That's
that-
so dreamy, dude. That's so cool, man.
And then yeah, it was sick. It was the only show we ever played, but
Is that what?
Yeah.
That the only show you ever played?
the only show we ever played.
Title fight?
Title Fight.
I guess you
And I'm super modest, but like they came and asked, because we were passing out demos, and they came and asked for one of our demos afterwards.
Whoa.
So that was really cool. I wasn't there for that, but that's what Julian told me.
That's so cool, man. And I tell you what, man, it's those intangibles that just mean the world, dude. I mean, it's like those things right there. Just like those running, like something. I mean, that's priceless, bro. That's why you do it.
Oh yeah, it's right after like Shed came out too, which is a flawless record. So
I learned today that Walter from Quicksand, like he produced that. I'm like, just another reason for me to love Quicksand and Walter.
it's
I'm like, homie does not, and I had no idea he produced. He did recorded. Well, I'm already, I'm a big fan of like all his music. Is just crazy, crazy.
it's crazy how everything is so close, but yet so far away.
So, I want to know, like, okay, man. So, does that exist anywhere? Like this Lunsford demo thing?
Yeah, it's lunsfordrock.bandcamp or something like that. I think we
Bro.
still have it up.
I gotta have all this because I don't want to. Here's the thing. That's why we're doing this thing. Because I don't want anybody. People shouldn't have to miss out. We should be able to kind of like. I want to put it all out here, and I'll put the link to the World Champions. I know you were in World Champions, but I feel like people need to kind of like listen to it. But people need to listen to that. I mean, dude, still one show, a title fight. I mean, and how do you? Homie's asking you for a demo. I mean, how good does that feel? I mean, come on,
It was sick.
that's crazy, dude.
I mean, I've gotten to play with a lot of my favorite bands ever. I mean, thanks to you, I got to play with Ceremony. I mean,
crazy,
that
right?
Violence record, top 10 of all time.
It's super good.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I mean, I've
Beautiful.
gotten to play with Foundation at a community center rec room. I filled in on drums for
Foundation.
Get Over It, that show. And
Unreal.
yeah, it was wild. I
Unreal.
mean, years ago.
I think that was the time. That was the time to be in a band, dude. I'm telling you, dude. At that time, I mean, I'm thankful for Memphis. Because like it gave great opportunities. I'm stoked for you guys. That's unreal to know that that I Get Over It got to play with Foundation. And I mean, that's beautiful, man.
Oh yeah,
They-
Foundation's one of my favorite bands in the world.
It's super good. I never got to see him. I'm just kind of like, man, what a dream that would be to get to play with like one of your favorite bands. I don't know what I would do. That'd be so unreal. And I'm so thankful for that because I think this being, Jones 870 will be like 60 miles, away from Memphis, and all these opportunities just open wide. But also, you bringing in folks too, that would not have else played. And sometimes it's kind of unbelievable to find out. Because I talk to my friends like in San Diego and Miami. It's kind of cool saying like, yeah, such and such band played Jonesboro. I was telling somebody the other day, who was it? I said, yeah, so and so played Paragold. Who was? Oh, the Sleeping. And they're like, no way. I'm like, yeah, it happened. I got to play at the Reynolds Park. I said, it happened. And so you kind of look at this stuff in like retrospect. And like, I'm so thankful and grateful for the time I got to kind of like be in it, in hardcore, and so I'm stoked for you guys. So you got to play with Title Fight, Foundation, and who else?
Ceremony.
Cer-
I can tell that ceremony story if you want.
Let's hear it.
All right, so you booked them. You asked us to play, I think last minute or something like
Wednesday
that.
night. It's on a Wednesday night.
Oh, perfect. So this was like on the tail end of Get Over It, and I was doing vocals at the time in the band, and then, we didn't have a drummer at that point or something like that. So I ended up going to drums. Danny playing guitar, Julian bass, Keith guitar, and then Steven Turner was a vocalist of Get Over It before me. He was out of the band, but we were like, yo, Ceremony is one of his favorite bands too. So we called him, we're like, hey, can you please play? Abe's going to play drums, you're going to do vocals. And he was like, I'm at work. And we were like, we'll come pick you up. So he came, we went and picked him up. He played that show with Ceremony in a Come and Go uniform, like a Come and Go shirt. And then straight up after, like dipped out back to work. Maybe he stuck around, I can't remember, but like,
I mean, what's that look like for Steve? It's like, hey, I'm clocking out for lunch or what?
So I used to hang out up there all the time with him. Like Steven Turner, shout out, one of my, one of the greatest
Yeah, I haven't
people.
heard from him forever. Bro.
He played such a pivotal part of me growing up, just talking about life and,
Yeah, he's a good dude.
solid, man. And so I would go up there all the time. They were open 24/7, and I would just go up there, hang out with him, and just talk and stuff. Like we were really close. And so like all of them were super cool. Everybody that worked there, and so like they were just like, "Can you come?"
That's crazy.
Like, yeah, sure, why not?
That's nuts,
Let's be
man.
honest. Our set was 15 minutes or 20 minutes, who knows? But like he's not gone for like 3 hours.
Is any Get Over It stuff anywhere?
I think.
Because I think one time I went on a hunt and I couldn't find anything.
I know It's All the Same was recorded with Danny on vocals because that was on the MySpace. That was the only track available at the time out of like 5. And then Metal Steve, shout out Metal Steve, R.I.P.
Yeah, dude.
He recorded a session at the Krusty Krab, I believe. This was before I was in the band doing vocals. Obviously, I was still around. But he recorded Steven's vocals and the band's tracks. And they're somewhere. I think they're on the 870 page.
Okay.
Somebody posted them. I don't remember who, but that was the first time I ever got to hear them because they scratched them. They were just like, oh, we're not going to put it out, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't get to hear them. And then I don't know who has them or who put them up, but like that was the first time I ever got to hear them. And that was like,
that is wild.
So
because like for everything for the active band like that, it's wild that there wasn't like demo, like there wasn't anything captured.
I mean, Clifford didn't have anything either.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I would love a Clifford demo.
That'd be so good.
Without me even in it. Back when it was Johnny Radin. Dude, yeah. Jason Stidman and Jay Kyle just like killed.
Shout out all those dudes. I want to make sure everybody gets their proper, props on this, on this episode for real. Shout out Clifford, and Johnny and Jason and Jay.
Weston was in that band as well.
And Julian
and Chase Chamberlain was in the shows that I played. Chase was there too. So Chase Chamberlain played. We had 3 guitarists. That was that show with the TVs. I think that was with.
That was so
that
awesome.
Within the Ruins or Burning the Masses? I can't remember.
I can't remember, but it was. I did watch that video this morning too. I remember that show. I was like, you guys are like bringing in TVs.
Oh, show, man. Woo.
I was bringing in TVs and everything. I was thinking to myself, I go, I love these guys. I go, I will never complain about, because like I always complain, but bad lighting. I go, I will never complain about bad lighting ever again, because those dudes are literally playing in the pitch black. Every once in a while, there's a strobe flash or whatever.
Yeah. Shout out to Blake Walser sitting behind Jay Bowman playing drums. He was like, Blake sit back there just turning him the light on and off like a big spotlight, just like. And then in the meantime, you just see all these static TVs, and then on one of the TVs, So those were all from like my house, like my parents' house, and it was like a small one back when we had VHS players that were built inside these small TVs.
Oh
You'd
yeah,
see them
yeah,
in like
yeah, yeah,
waiting
yeah.
rooms
Oh yeah, for real, yeah.
at like getting your oil changed. But like there was a copy of The Little Mermaid in that
Whoa.
small TV, and I didn't know it, but like Steven Turner, it was on his top of the amp that he was using, just straight up like press play. So in that video on that small TV, you'll see The Little Mermaid. Disney, don't come for me.
No,
Disney,
no, don't come.
Disney, don't get that video taken down. But you'll see Little Mermaid playing, and it's just
That is sick. I gotta say that this
beautiful.
day, that's probably the best. I think that's probably the best as far as production. I mean, the whole set, but we never had any production. I know, of course, we didn't no pyro or no lights or anything else, but that was by far because I love that aesthetic. By the way, I like the whole like the whole static and the glitches and all those. I just love it. I love the because back in the day, like back in it kind of reminded me of old school. I don't want to say old school, but like first generation, like Norma Jean or like Chariot types. It's just like this boom. It's dark and it's just flashes of white light and this heavy chaotic music. I was like, I love this, man. And in fact, I think you guys opened up like with the epic
Yeah,
or
that
whatever.
Lux Alterna or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think like I
Da,
just wanted that. I was like, yo, somebody play this. And then it was so funny because you can hear it in the video. Like it's like a 2 minute long intro, and Jay was just like, no, let's go. Like because we were all just so amped. We are just like, yeah. Like Clifford was an experience. You can hear me in the video just be like, Ryan, to shut off the music, and it was just like, what's up with Clifford?
I know it was great because I hear it. I go, okay, it turned off. And I go, when does it come in? When does it come in? And all of a sudden you go, what's up, we're Clifford. That's amazing, dude. It's so good, dude.
Wasn't planned, but it definitely worked out the best because we were just so amped, man. It was time
Now,
to be alive.
now, did Clifford have a lot of material, or something just like, did it have like 4 or 5 songs, or?
5, 6 songs, something like that. That was literally Jason and Jay's child. I mean, it was ahead of its time. Honestly,
I
like
agree.
we weren't into the headbanging and then playing the super big, just like chugs. I mean, Animosity obviously was a huge influence on all of us.
Oh, sure, yeah.
I mean, especially in the some of the songs lyrically and then vocally patterns.
Shut
And,
up.
even got to. It's just that was one of my favorite things I've ever done.
Dude. Did you guys ever do the TV thing again?
No, we only played like I think I played 3 shows in the band, and that was the best one. I'm glad it's documented, like recorded and everything, because that's like something I can look back and be like, hey, this was me.
I'm glad to say, like, I think Johnny Radin, he played. I think he did a show with us, man. He did vocals for us one time at the Get Down. So I'm like, we were such a revolving door for vocalists, though. It's so crazy.
Yeah, I was in I'm the Catalyst too.
Were you not in the Catalyst too?
I tried out and I was in it. This was that bomb I was telling you about. I wanted to
Okay,
drop on you.
okay, here comes the bomb.
All right, so I was in I'm the Catalyst. I tried out. It was after you had gone.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
We didn't play a show or anything like that, but I remember trying out. I think it was at Jordan's place.
what?
Mm-hmm. So I was gonna be a vocalist in I'm the Catalyst.
Were you really?
And then we just, I think we did
That
like 1 or
should
2
have
practices.
happened.
It would have been funny.
That'd have been so cool. That would have.
But I mean, I'm gonna take that with me. I'll have that on my resume.
That's so
I tried
awesome.
out and I got in.
That's awesome, man. I'm so thankful for that. It's so cool. I'm so glad. I'm so happy to know that.
I'm so glad you didn't know, because that's
I
like
had no
something me
idea.
and Julian were talking
idea.
about. We're like, does he even know? And I was like, I don't think so. I'm gonna tell him. I can't wait. Like when we were going to see Drain, like at that show, I was like trying not to tell you because I know you were trying to get me on. I was like, oh,
you're good. You're good.
I was
You're
like,
good.
no, I'm
You're
gonna wait.
good. That is unreal. What, at Jordan's house?
Man, it was so long ago. I
So
can't
long
remember.
ago.
But I just remember reading like the lyrics to one of the songs that Benny had.
Shoot, I don't even know the lyrics.
I don't either now, but like I just remember like reading the lyrics, listening to the song, and then being like, okay, yeah, let's play it. And then that's like how I tried out. I couldn't even remember the song,
Really,
but yeah, it was one of them, and I tried out.
dude. Yes, that's so great, man. I love it. Okay, that was a bomb. That was a bomb. That's very cool. Yeah, I was pretty upset with. I was like, back in the day, there was no footage of me playing playing that original. That was not the original, but there's no footage of like any of the old stuff of me playing. So I'm not bitter.
Didn't y'all play out at Ray Street Skate Park one time with AJ on vocals?
Skate park?
Yeah, in Jonesboro. AJ fronted some band that played at the Ray Street, Jonesboro, Allen Community Center Skate Park. There's a lot of words for that one place. It was called them a lot of things.
Not that I can remember.
Okay. Because AJ, I for sure remember seeing AJ there. That was like when I was skating, like as I was getting into music. So like
Really?
13, 14 years old.
Now, far be it, no, I can't remember.
I just remember AJ being out there. So I
I know he played bass, I think, for like a study in Scarlet or something.
oh man,
Isn't that crazy?
a study in Scarlet.
I'm gonna have him on like I think it's next month. I'm like,
Oh, hey, tell him I said what's up.
yeah, dude, absolutely. I'm like, so yeah, so he was and that's pretty. I mean, that's like that's kind of how kind of thick we kind of were with like as far as Memphis and Jonesboro kind of back then and everything. So um, okay, yeah, that's good, dude. I like it. Alrighty,
Sorry, I got to stay hydrated, man.
dude, go for it, man. You're good. Yeah, I definitely want to give those. I would definitely give Clifford their proper. I mean, I wish there was like a Clifford demo.
Yeah, same. But
That's not gonna.
we have that like 8-minute song on YouTube, and I think that's enough, and that's fun to
That's
have
good.
that. I have projects that you know never recorded any music or anything like that, so it's cool to see at least something like. I
Yeah.
think I'm on like 2 or 3 videos on the internet or on YouTube with Get Over It, and that's it. And Live On, we had one track recorded with Cody Brown up here in Paragould.
Oh no way.
Yep.
I didn't know about that connection there.
Yeah, I don't remember how I don't remember how I got in touch with him, but it was like, oh, he records. I was like, oh, can we pay you to do one track? And we did a track.
Wow. Yeah, we gotta get those. We gotta get those songs. That's awesome. Okay.
Golly, I don't even know where that song is.
Did you end up like did you write any stuff for like as far as like lyrics and everything for Get Over It?
Yeah. So when I joined, I rewrote a couple of the songs,
Okay.
but
Well, I'll tell you, man, in the vocalist, I mean, as far as the vocals category, you guys were, I mean, that band was stacked. I mean, I thought everybody who filled that position was like,
oh, I mean, in its heyday, like Danny was that vocalist for that band. I
it's
mean,
crazy.
I stepped in. It wasn't me.
Well, I mean, it's
When I got in it, we were changing our sound, moving on, and even after Get Over It was done, we moved to kind of we're gonna rebrand, be a new band. Like Hartley was playing with us.
yeah.
Jay went to drums, and so I mean, we were changing our sound, and then it just
The songwriting was really good,
withered
though.
away, man. That's just kind of how it is.
Yeah, that's what happens. And that's the thing too. You don't know how long it's gonna last when you do have it. You
Yeah,
know. Yeah.
that's why you got to enjoy it while you got
enjoy,
it, man.
enjoy it while you can. Uh, okay. Awesome. Um, I want to kind of. So you talked about your favorite 870 bands, or you talked about one of them. Anyway. Um,
Not
any,
saying the rest of you suck, but
no,
like
no.
stand out for sure. I mean, we can go down the row. Chattanooga, great.
Everybody brings up Chattanooga.
After the Altar, great.
Check.
I Am the Catalyst,
Check.
great. Uh, I mean, I can sit here and do this all day. I mean, it's just like,
But
yeah,
I think I love your response though. That's good.
Get Over It, whack.
Yeah, otherwise.
Clifford, whack. Uh, you know, everybody played their part, and that's how I think of it. Everybody we had a mixed bag. We weren't one thing, and I thought that was really cool about our scene back in the day. I mean, Chattanooga was playing what Gideon is playing now, essentially, right? And that,
Yeah,
I
you're
mean,
exactly
and then
right.
like After the Altar, amazing. Just
Well, it's kind of like what you said before, kind of just doing what you love, and if people happen to like it, that's great. And I think everybody kind of supported each other because it's just like it's exciting to kind of see those things happening. And I agree. I think everybody kind of had their own kind of I don't know. It's like it's like everybody was like one piece of the puzzle.
yeah, nobody sounded the same, and that
No
was
one, no one sounded the same.
I mean, we've had a riot named Rodney King, which was Jay and
Yes, we did.
Jason, Cody Harrison. I think Colin Shaughnessy was in that band. I mean, and they were a grind band.
It's crazy.
I mean, everyone had their parts, and like you said, pieces to this
Hey,
puzzle.
one day we're just gonna make this big old family tree of all the people who were, and we'll put Cody Harrison over here and Colin over here and what bands they were in and we just put a big old family tree of 870 Underground. I like it.
I'd be down to see it. Throw in my knowledge of who was in what time.
Yeah, no doubt.
I can't tell you years, but I'll tell you who was in at what time.
Yeah, we need to get Danny on here too. I know I think he's upstate Missouri or something like that. Uh, okay, very cool. Well, where should we fill in is there anything we didn't cover that we need to cover far as like because you were very busy. If it wasn't for like of course like going to shows is kind of given, but between the booking and between like projects and like filling in for folks and like whether it's like drums or vocals, is there anything that I'm missing that should be kind of like that documented and like recorded? Did I miss anything?
Uh, I mean, I did a band or a project called Highworks. That was pretty cool, but we lived in Northwest Arkansas for that. But we have a 6-song record.
Really?
It's on Spotify and
Dude,
Bandcamp, I think. So
dude,
yeah, it's me and Doug. That's it.
wait, was this the project that you did in was that 20 in the neighborhood of like 2016, 2017?
No, well, fun story. It started in 2011.
Okay,
We wrote a bunch of songs when Lunsford was going on, like,
right,
and then me and Doug just went and wrote a bunch of hardcore songs, like
right.
insane. And because we were playing lighter stuff, and they put me and Doug were just gremlins, just like, yo, let's play something hard. And so we went out and played, or we went out and just started writing, and we wrote and kept those songs for years. I mean, literally 2011 till we recorded them. I think 2000 or 2020,
Okay,
2020, something like that.
maybe that's what it was. Because I could have
2021.
swore you kind of like
Put
I,
it out right before the pandemic.
I think that's what it was. 'Cause I remember being at home, not this place, but it was another place. I can remember distinctly remember like it's like yeah, I think Abe had like some stuff recorded, and it was like I remember being really good.
Yeah, we went to Sunset Studios, I believe what it's called, in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and we did a few days. Me and Doug. I recorded drums and vocals, and Doug recorded
Love it.
guitar, bass. We had Hartley step in to do a guitar solo, and then everybody jumped in for gang vocals.
Incredible, man.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It's one of those projects that we're being adults and had the money, and we
Kudos
were
to
just
you
like,
guys.
let's
That
just
is
go record
awesome,
something
man.
we want to do. Thanks.
That
It's a
is.
lot of fun.
I always wanted to do like a project, like not necessarily like play like because I don't have time for like being like in multiple bands, but just do a project. Get something out there. You have these ideas stirring up. You get a couple people like, hey man, we don't have like 5 people to do another thing, but like, hey, we got 2 of us. Like you had him, and like, why not? That's great, dude.
Oh
That's
yeah, we
awesome, man.
just it was a blast. I mean, it's something we had been working on for literally 10 years. And we were just I'll never forget. We went into the studio, and I literally think it's like 8 songs, and we went in, and he was like, no, 7 songs. We did have an eighth, but we scratched it. Uh, so we went in, and he was like, "How many songs are y'all gonna do in like one session?" And we were like, "Oh, we got 8." And he was like, "You're not gonna have enough time." And we were like, "Okay." And we banged them all out in that one
No,
session. I had to go back and do a half day for vocals because I blew my voice out the first day, so I had to go back a little bit later.
he did 7.
Oh yeah, it's 7 songs at I think it's like 8 minutes long.
Good job, bro.
Oh, it's sick.
That's awesome. Well, dude, I don't know, man.
Yeah, check that out if y'all want to. It's called Highworks.
So, so kudos to you for like because there is this like there's like this DIY attitude that you have and everything. Obviously, I know it kind of from age 13 on, you could see it. You know what I'm saying? Not only DIY attitude, but also kind of creativity. So kind of like so you put those two together, and they're gonna things are gonna start producing. You know, and also I guess because I guess you can have both of those, but if you don't have any ambition or like discipline or grind to put them out, then it's not going to be anything. But here you are, years later, and here you got all these projects, all these shows that you booked, and all these opportunities that you kind of jump at and kind of fill in, and now we're here, years later, and now you have like this skateboard company.
Yeah, 20 years later.
That's
You know,
crazy, man.
just turned 33 a couple weeks ago, and you know, I've always had the attitude of if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. Life's way too short. I was thinking about that on the way up here.
Yeah,
Just like if you want to do something, just do it,
you got to
man.
do it. You can't just don't start where you. I mean,
Who
that's what you
cares?
did. That's what you did.
Just who cares about anything? As long as you're being morally and ethically, correct. Just like do what you
Let's go.
want, man.
Where did the
Don't.
idea for board come from?
Ah, man, it started years ago, just as a idea, like literally just a font that said Board Skate Co.
Yeah.
an American typewriter, and I just saved it on my computer and sent it out to a couple friends. And they're like, "Oh, that looks cool." I was like, "Sick." That was like 2015, 2016.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I, I got bored about a year ago and was like, "Yeah, let's do this." So yeah, just kind of started that way. I've always done uh, like kind of consultation, like design work
Okay.
for brands. Did it for bands, and then also stores.
I didn't
That's
know that.
yeah, and that's just kind of I always wanted to do it for myself, and just was like, yeah, let's do it, and decided to throw a bunch of money at it.
You do a good job at it. Like,
I appreciate it.
yeah, you do a really good job at it. I mean, like it's perfectly branded. Um, so I mean, it's crazy. It's only been out for a year, but like you came out, it looks like it's been around for for longer than that.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. So like, um, so you have like, so is this like this a you project, or did you get some other people to kind of help join forces, or did you talk to other skaters, or did you have somebody else that's a non? I mean, how did it all kind of like come into being, type of thing?
So it all started, just with an idea, and then shout out to Tolik. Uh,
Okay,
love him to
yeah,
death. Tolik
absolutely, yeah,
Rajewski,
yeah. Shout out, yeah,
amazing artist. So I showed it to him. Me and him, I've been friends with him since I was
sure.
8 years old.
Oh
So
wow,
or
okay, okay,
5,
okay.
something like that. And I showed it to him because we've always been into the same thing, like hardcore music, sneakers, fashion, all that fun stuff,
Right.
art, spray paint, everything. And I was just like, hey, this is my idea I have for this. Are you down? Like, I can't do this without you, essentially. And he was just like, yeah, dude, it'd be fun. And,
Awesome,
I
awesome.
talked to him almost daily about what we're doing next, what we got coming up, what graphics we need to think about doing, or ideas. It's nice to have him to bounce things off of, and he's integral. You know, I don't know if I said that right, but
No,
he's
no, you're good. So like you're so are you like I mean, are you like do you have people who kind of skate for your team?
yeah. So it started with me and Tolik as like an idea, and then I got 4 other guys from the area that skate with Bowden, Juan, Blade, and Larry, all homies. Like I've known Larry and Blade since I was
Kevin?
13.
Is it Kevin Wan?
Kevin Juan, yeah, he's from up here in
Yeah, we know that dude.
Marigold. Yeah, he skates for Dirty, which is
Oh
out
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
Poplar Bluff. Shout out
Right.
to Dirty Skateboards.
Yeah, no doubt.
And so yeah, I got them together. I was like, hey, I'm starting this. I would like y'all to be a part. And they were like, yeah, let's do it. And then now we've grown to, I think, 10 members, 10 crew, 10 people on the crew.
Nice.
I like to call us a crew. I don't like being like, yeah, this is our team. Like it's just, we're a crew. We skate together, and
Yeah.
everybody does their job, does their part, and then yeah.
You guys do demos? You guys like do competitions and
We'll,
things
we'll
like
travel
that?
to like competitions, set up vendors, spot like a vendor table and stuff like that. We'll do a pop up every now and then. We have a pop up tomorrow in Memphis with the owner of Society, which is the indoor skate park in
Nice.
Memphis. And so he's a good dude. So I was like, hey, you want to do a pop up at their public park? And he was like, yeah. So we're doing that tomorrow. So after I leave here, I've got to go
That's
prep for that.
unreal, man. Because I've always thought like how like what does that all involve? I mean, that's got to be like a busy type of. I mean, I don't even know how to do that. That's crazy, man.
Traveling, marketing, designing, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So that's kind of like, but you said you kind of had experience doing that anyway.
Yeah, I think, and I was talking to Tolik the other day. I was like, I think everything is boiled up to like me doing something like this on my own. Like I've never had a brand, or, I've always done other work,
Sure, yeah,
put in my 2 cents. Hey, this would be cool. This looks good. Blah blah blah.
right.
But it's cool to like do my own thing and then have friends that's like, hey, like this is good. Like
I love this.
I need that. I need that reassurance. But at the end of the day, it's just like, all right, my friends think it's cool. I think it's cool. Let's just do it. Why not? Because who cares?
Well, I love it, man. I'm really excited about it because it's like something I didn't expect, and I don't think I even knew like you skated, and I'm like all of a sudden like, yo, like this skate. 'Cause I've known about dirty skateboards. I've known about them, like folks, kind of go up to Paragould, and we go up to Poplar Bluff every now and again, and everything, and talk to talk to some of those guys down there. But I was like, I had no clue, and I think it's rad that it's like it's happening. Like I don't know how you do it, but I'm stoked. Like your brand is really good. Like and like as far as like your marketing and promotion and everything else, like dude, they got real skate decks and they got real merch. Like this is like legit. So this is kind of like isn't the kid talking because like I grew up like I came into skateboarding when I was like 15 years old. So I'm like that's where that's where I kind of think I kind of fell in love with like nothing else matters but skateboarding. You know what I'm saying? That was me at 15. So I'm kind of like going through my Thrasher magazines and wondering like it'd be so cool to skate for whatever the skateboard team would be sponsored by, this, that, and the other. And you get all fascinated with like, the graphics and the designs and everything else. And just, there's like this artistic element, this like, so anyway, that's why I'm kind of geeking out right now. So I think it's cool.
I
think it's cool.
appreciate it.
It's awesome, man.
I'm not in a band, so I have to do something creative. That's like how like my brain works. It's like, how long has it been since you've done something creative? That long? All right, we got to do something now.
You're doing great, man. You're doing great. Keep it going, bro. I'm excited for you guys. This is Top 5 on the Fly. We're going to put a little twist on it this time. We're going to talk about 5 of our favorite shows that we've been to personally.
Let's do it.
Let's do this. We're excited about this. So I'm going to start off my number 5. Well, I'm going to say it would be dumb of me not to mention that how I got into hardcore would be, I got to name that show, because that was the show that kicked it all off. And that was at it was at John McKeag's house. John McKeag, we don't know, he and a guy named DJ Rose, they did shows up there in Syracuse. And this was at a house and in a basement. They were between venues. They were in between the underground at Syracuse University, and they ended up playing at the Lost Horizon, where all the shows ended up, which is a pretty nice club. I think that still remains in Syracuse, where a lot of, like, you name a band, they've been through there. Like, not even hardcore bands. It's like, like Guns N' Roses and stuff that played there and stuff. So it's kind of one of those stopping points. But anyway, that first show I saw in the basement where I kind of got hooked immediately was a band called Face Value out of Cleveland, Ohio. And never will I be the same. That was just the most, I go, this is heavy metal, but it's not heavy metal, but it's like, it's thrash, but yep, these guys don't, they weren't singing about witches and warlocks and everything. They were singing about real things that were kind of really important to me, that had some substance. And I was all about substance. I was really into hip hop and rap, and I knew about, I grew up on that socially conscious hip hop, like Public Enemy and KRS-One. And so I'm like, this is what I want. This is it. So Face Value out of Face Value, that show right there, 1991.
And how old were you?
16 or 17.
I was born in 91.
Isn't it crazy?
To be alive and to be going to shows back then. I mean, some of my favorite bands are from early 90s. I mean,
absolutely.
Integrity.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh,
one of my favorite bands in the world.
Amazing. Yeah.
Oh, I can't top that.
Yeah, you can.
Talking about.
You can.
All right, so these are in no order for me for sure, but definitely, it's hard. All right, so it's 2 shows. It's 2 shows, but it's the same weekend.
It counts.
Okay, so I went to Nashville, and it was with, like, I forget who all was there, but I know Keith came along, and I was borrowing, like, I was a child. I was asking my mom for money, and Keith didn't have any money to go. I was like, dude, I'll just pay for you. So I got like $20-$30 from my mom to go to go to Nashville for a weekend. And I just paid for Keith to get in, and I had no money, like, to eat, to buy merch or anything like that. So I have no merch from the show.
How old are you?
Huh?
How old are you here?
Dude, I couldn't tell you. I was 15, 16 probably.
Your mom is so supportive.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, I still worked, but like, I didn't have enough. That was going to gas money. But I mean, that's when you could toss somebody $5 for gas.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
But so it was a weekend thing. I want to say Jimmy definitely had to drive us to Nashville. That's the thing. So it was night 1. Man.
That's okay.
We're gonna have to cut that out. Cut that little part.
Okay.
Because I'm stumbling. All right. So I don't even remember what night was which.
Okay, we're good. We're good.
All right. So one night was Killing the Dream and Pulling Teeth at the Anchor in Nashville, which was insane. Like, Pulling Teeth, yeah. Killing the Dream, absolute. Hollywood played that show as well. Shout out Hollywood from Nashville, one of the best bands ever.
Whoa, Hollywood.
Whoa,
Hollywood. Oh
yeah, okay. Dude. Brave Sounds.
Wow.
That record, they were on Rock Vegas.
Yeah.
Keep It Core Records.
Okay.
Yeah, Keep It Core.
I can't believe we got to see Killing the Dream.
Yeah, Killing the Dream.
Never got to see.
Oh, that's
never got to see him.
Top 10, top 5 favorite band of all time, man.
So
Everything they ever put out was phenomenal.
So
yeah, that was that night. And then the next night was, all right, Down to Nothing, Have Heart,
Bro.
and Foundation. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you topped mine.
So like that was, and I'll never forget this night
That's so
because
crazy.
Down to Nothing, this is when merch was like super hard to get. There were no merch stores for like, you had to get it off eBay for some insane price or out of a forum like B9 or Death Wish or anything like that. But like
Right.
Down to Nothing had this sick like just sweatshirt that just said "Hanging Out is what we do best" on it, and they had one left, and I was like, I think this is the only money I had. Like I was like not gonna eat that night, so I could afford the sweatshirt, and they had like one size small left. I was like, hey, I want this one, but let me go get it. Let me go get the money from my friend. And I go back and I was like, hey man, here's the money. I want that sweatshirt. And he was like, oh, we just sold it. And they sold it to one of the people that was with us, Sarah. And he was like, I'll never forget this. I was so upset, but he looked at me, he goes, you'll grow out of a small dude. And I was a child. I love you want the sweatshirt, dude. And so I own that sweatshirt now, by the way, in case anyone was wondering. I own a couple of them. But yeah, I'll never forget that weekend. Like just sleeping on floors and seeing literally my favorite bands ever.
And I think you bring up something beautiful because that's what it was really all about. It's like sacrificing everything to kind of like see, even if I was sleeping on the floor or not eating, in order to see the bands that you want. You know what I'm saying? Because those are just like iconic bands. I mean,
Yeah.
they'll go down like hardcore lore. But I mean, that's exactly spending your last $20 on like people might hear this and go, "What the heck, man? What are you even talking about?" But there's like this intangible. There was this thing that is just. And I remember even going back in the days skateboarding. It's like as long as like I had my skateboard and like somewhere to sleep, and I was good to go. You know, I remember going to shows and spending my last $5 on a demo that I had to have because I knew I was going to eat again. You know,
I'll eat
because
tomorrow.
what next opportunity am I going to get? Because it wasn't like I could go like on the internet or go anywhere and grab this anywhere. Because like I remember grabbing like an Undertow demo at a show, and they weren't even playing, but somebody was there doing a distro, and they had an Undertow demo, and I'm like, you better believe I'm buying that because what are the chances of me getting to buy that again? It's there was going to be a next time, so it's like seizing that opportunity. Okay. Sacrifice. Number four. Number four is okay. So number four, me and my me and my friend Ryan Gilmore, my friend Chris Maxwell, we went up to Buffalo to watch. We went to Atro to go see All. So we were big fans like Descendants and All and everything. So we went to go watch them, and we're there hanging out. First time in Buffalo, and out of nowhere, and this is not a hardcore show, by the way. Out of nowhere, all of a sudden, and I'm walking around, I see these T-shirts that say Buffalo Style. I go, there's some hardcore kids here. Okay. And all of a sudden, this band breaks out. And I'm like, who is this? And I go, I've heard of this band, but I've never, I think the only time I've heard them was like on I had a 7-inch. It was Snapcase. I was like, they hadn't even played Syracuse yet, and here we are. They like, I guess the last minute throw in to play, and this was like Snapcase. Anyway, they played like this is like 1991. Like they're playing the songs off their they will be released on Victory Records. So there's like the song called Comatose and like some other stuff. It might sound cheesy nowadays, but that was like everything to me to see Snapcase. They were my favorite band for like the longest time. And so when they did play Syracuse eventually, it was kind of cool that, hey, I was one of the first people from Syracuse to get to see them. So anyway,
that's
awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome. That was my number four.
Well, I can't wait to hear 3, 2, and 1 if that was number 4.
I know, I can't either. I got to figure out what I'm going to say. All
right, number 4 for me was when Letdown played Rally Point. And it's unlike anything I've ever seen before. And I think Letdown played that Have Heart tour that you booked.
See, I was trying to think of all those bands.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we played with them at Rally Point, old Memphis venue. And
yeah, good place.
Yeah, I've seen some wild shows there. And he was doing some Dillinger escape plan stuff because all the piping was like undone, and just like he busted his head open and was playing with like blood coming down, and I will never forget it. And I was just like, this is the most intense thing I've ever seen in my life.
What?
And so like I'll never forget it. I talk about it every chance I get, and just like, yeah, Let Down. Just couldn't believe it.
So look out for hardcore AIDS. So this is
Oh
blood
man,
is flowing.
it was wild. It was such a good vocalist. I mean, oh man,
Uh, bro, that's sick. Man, I can't. Oh my. Let down. Yeah, because I was trying to think of all the bands that played that show. That's cool, man. Um, oh shoot. Number three for me is going to be first time I saw uh, first time I saw Earth Crisis was like at the same place where I saw the Face Value, but it was like in a building behind the house. There's like this little shed thing, probably fit like 20 people, and it was like Syracuse straight edge band. Well, they were all. Well, I think every band during that time was straight edge and vegan straight edge. They're like
X up or shut up, baby.
oversight, oversight, and one of my favorite Syracuse hardcore bands was Framework. And all Framework was just a different singer. Uh,
Of
Earth
Earth
Cry,
Crisis,
yeah, because
just a
Earth,
different singer.
yeah. So the singer Framework was Shane Durkee. He was also this original. He was also the singer for Oversight, and Carl. So basically, Carl was like the vocalist for, you know, all the Framework guys. So basically, that was Earth Crisis, and it was unreal. It was unreal. And of course, like it's wild to like, because I kind of got disconnected from like when I moved down from there to here. It's hard to kind of keep up with things, especially when you're like hours and hours away, as far as like what's going on in Syracuse and the hardcore scene. And I remember getting like a newsletter from Victory Records because I would do like mail order or whatever, and like there they are, they're signed to Victory Records and they're on this national tour. I'm like, what?
I just saw them.
I just saw them anyway. So it was like that's when I knew that like yeah. So it's like it's about to get real, like Victory is kind of growing with integrity and Snapcase and Earth Crisis. So yeah, that's my third favorite.
Is Victory your favorite record label?
I don't know, not for what I've heard. I mean, I used to order stuff back in the day, and I remember him sending me like, he sent me little notes like, uh, hey, send me the stamp back on your next or whatever, so I don't have to, keep paying for postage. Like, he's like running his label out of his trailer, in Chicago. I'm like, it's just so crazy to think about.
I mean, definitely taking it DIY.
Absolutely, right? We're kind of going back to that whole thing. That's where it began. That's like it's crazy. And that's kind of cool too to kind of like say, hey, it's kind of like I was kind of there when Conan Victory kind of like the early '90s hardcore is my favorite, obviously, but it's kind of cool. So
I mean, just like early 2000s is mine because that's
and I
where it
always
was the most pivotal to me.
and I always tell that
where
I
it
always
was to
tell
you.
people that I always tell people that I go, I think most in two important times, like as far as underground, as far as hardcore metalcore or whatever. I think it's like early '90s hardcore, and I think it's like mid 2000s. You can't argue that mid 2000s it's monumental. It's just like it's crazy to think about.
I mean, the whole melodic wave is you know, when I really found my passion in all of like that, I guess, sense of like sense of being there and belonging. And so that's like where like I could go down my favorite bands and you'll just be like, these are all the same bands that were big at the same time in that melodic hardcore era. And you'll hear it on this list, like Killing the Dream.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, 100%. But I mean,
undeniable.
then I'll go over there and go to Youth Crew with Down to Nothing, which Splitting Headache, one of the best records in the world. But, it's wherever, emotionally, it's such an emotionally charged genre
Sure.
in music. So it's just like, you'll find your home and that's where it will kind of stay and that's where your heart will be. And obviously you can adapt and move to different things because I don't listen to half the things that I used to listen to or, my taste has,
Right. Right.
evolved over the past years or devolved, however you want to call it.
Right.
So, and that's just from who you surround yourself with and what influences are in your world. If you're
Exactly.
paying attention to lyrics and yeah,
Exactly
that's
right.
just how it all is. And, we can sit around. Today's not as good as back when I was, but it's like, it's going to be that for every single person.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's
right.
great. I love it. I love being like, their first record was better. That's like my favorite thing to do to be like, their first one was better.
I love it, man. Yeah, I love melodic hardcore, man. That's just like, dude, yeah.
Oh, well, good, because you're in for a treat.
Yeah.
That's the rest of this list, buddy.
Let's go for it.
All right, so number 3 is, golly, it's going to be really hard to do 5, but Modern Life is War on their last tour
So jealous.
was a sight to see. Now, they are playing still. They put out another record. I think it's called Fever Hunting a few years ago. Picked up right where they left off, but their last tour was they played at Rally Point. So if you can imagine Modern Life is War playing at Rally Point last tour,
Cannot.
it was packed, and dude, just
Cannot.
I love Modern Life is War to this day.
Same.
Like, I mean, and seeing them on their last tour was amazing, and just you'll never be able to experience something like that again, which is so cool to think about. But yeah,
Same. Amazing band.
saw them in that.
I can't imagine that small space. I mean, we played up in there, but like, I couldn't imagine. I could not imagine. So I mean, that's fortunate for you because that's one of those bands I just want to go. I think one time I think they played in like St. Louis probably 4 or 5 months ago, and I was like, man, I would have loved to, you know, with everything kind of going on, there's just no way I could do it. But like, wow.
Yeah, I've been super fortunate that I've been able to see even a quarter of the bands, and even in the places that I've seen them. Like, and I haven't been to a lot, and that's I have friends that have gone all over the country and
Sure.
everything like that. So I'm super fortunate that there are people like you that were booking shows, that were letting me book shows through you,
Right back at you, buddy.
and so it definitely don't take anything for granted. I'm very count them all.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, we seize the opportunity, when it comes about, because you might not get it next time.
That's for sure.
Yo, that's awesome. I don't know if I can, man. That's a really good. Shoot. Number two. Number two. Um. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm staying back in the day, which I don't mean to, but these are just ones that are kind of want to make sure. One of my favorite bands that if I could ever find, if I could find a demo of this, not a demo, but if I could find like, so this is a band called, they're called Another Wall. They're from Connecticut, and they played a really good show in Syracuse, and they came down and Lost Horizon venue is super nice, and it's like, even for for early 90s hardcore, it's a nice venue. Right? They had a beautiful PA. It's loud. It's like if you go like to maybe, I'm trying to probably be like going to. Well, we went down to the Rev Room like recently, so it's kind of like that. I mean, it's kind of like I would say probably about the same size, about the same sound. Even the pit was the same. Like you got your walk down and there's like this pit. So I was like, now I was kind of taken back after I saw like the Rev Room. I go, this is like I'm getting all kinds of nostalgia. It was great. So anyway, I saw this band called Another Wall. They're from Connecticut, and I remember they were fantastic live. Still one of the best. I wish I had their live demo because all they had at the time, the guy was selling demos out of his backpack. And it was basically a recording of one of their live shows, and it was well done. And time goes and things. I don't know what happened to that demo, and that was the only thing I have because I can't go and like find this demo on Spotify. I mean, I have one of their 7 inches, but that's it. But when you capture their live sound on a demo, is it kind of because at that time when I was listening to that, where it meant the most to me was like when I was moved down from New York to here, so I was kind of homesick,
Absolutely.
not only for shows and like being with my friends and everything. That demo really kind of took me back to like, yo man, this kind of the good vibes, and uh, so I'm definitely gonna go with that. A band called Another Wall from Connecticut, definitely 90s. It's hard to really describe their sound. I would call it kind of mid-tempo 90s hardcore that really just kind of like they kind of took it to a whole nother level, and I wish maybe one day that will kind of surface on the internet, but that's it.
I'm gonna
Number
have to
two.
check them out.
Yeah, dude.
I'm honestly gonna make that like a mission of mine, is to try to find that live demo for you.
Oh, I appreciate that. That'd be awesome.
I'm gonna
I've
tap
loo-
into some resources, see what
I've
I can
looked all
find.
over. I looked all over the place. I know they're on YouTube. Like some of like there's some snippets of that band. But like I think I put it in the comments in some sections. Like if anybody has a demo or the live demo, please let me have it.
I'll definitely try.
Yo, what you got, man?
Are we on number 2?
Number two, yo.
Oof. All right. This was in Blue Springs, Missouri. It's about 8 hours up, I think, from Jonesboro.
Wow.
It was me, Josh Rayborn, Stephen Turner, Jimmy, and I think Kyle Cherry. We drove up to this thing called Landlocked Fest. Landlocked Fest, yeah. I have the flyer saved on my phone, but Cold World played, Blacklisted, Mongoloids, and Bitter End in a church basement where it was literally you could touch the ceiling. I'm 5'8" and I could touch the ceiling almost with like the top of my finger. And I will never forget that ever.
That small venues, first of all, are the best. And the fact that you're playing was it as big as the Krusty Krab?
It was bigger. I
It
mean,
was bigger.
it was probably like a little bit bigger than this room, but like it was small. There was like a beam in the middle. Like it was literally in a basement. Like it was an outdoor like to the entrance to
I
it.
adore this. This is so great.
And I'll never forget. Like we were talking. Me and Steven went up to the Cold Old merch table. It's like right after they played. I had already bought like one of everything in a size small. Sadly, I think I still have the tank top because I got it in medium because that was the only size they had. But everything else I had in a small, so it's all gone. But I'll never forget talking to the guitarist Alex and just being like, "Yeah, we drove 8 hours up to be here," and he was like, "Oh man, did y'all get any merch?" And we were like, "Yeah, we got everything." So he hands us. He was like, "Did you get this?" And I was like, "Oh no." He hands me the CD DVD of No Omega. So it had like, Ice Grills on it as well as like 2 extra songs, and then it had a DVD of like their tour to Europe, I think. Handed me that,
Whoa.
and then their drummer, Woj, he was like into rap, hip hop, DJing, and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
He also has a lot of cool work in design for like concepts and streetwear and sneakers and all that fun
Beautiful.
stuff.
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
So he had like a mix, like rap mix, and so he gave us those two things, like one copy each to me and Steven.
Unbelievable,
And like
man.
I still have that to this day, like
Yes. Awesome, dude.
in a bin with all my all 7 inches and 12 inches stuff like that.
Oh my Lord. How did you even find out? And like where is that town? What's even is it this like a small town in like upstate Missouri?
I I couldn't remember just because we drove up there and back
And
in
why
one
that
night.
town?
Just I guess they just had the pull and could do it. It was the midway for a lot of. I mean, it was a stacked lineup. I mean, those were just some of the bands that
Wow.
played,
Okay.
and it was unreal. I mean, I got to see Cold War for the first time, and that's like one of my favorite bands ever.
I
So
love that you got to see all these bands because I never got to see like you mentioned these bands during that time. I go, I'm glad somebody saw them because I never got to see any of those dudes. That's awesome. And what a great era too. It's beautiful, man.
I got to see pretty much every band that's on my list of like favorites, except for a couple, and like the couple that I didn't get to see, like will never play again. Like, and also it's impossible to find merch for, as well. Because that's like what I do now is I just buy hardcore merch because I'm not going to shows or anything like that. And I go to as many as I can, but like I buy shirts from like back in the day that I had when I was younger, and I just like to buy them now. And
Uh,
so I've even talked to guys that are friends with like the vocalist of a band that lives in like Europe now, and they're like, I'll ask to see if he has anything laying around. Like one of my favorite bands is Lifelong Tragedy, and I like posted in a group. Yeah, dude,
you like yeah, that's good, dude. Those are good.
melodic hardcore, man.
Don't
Had a grasp.
didn't you say in the car you like make do and amend or make do and mend? Is that you?
Yeah, I saw them at Warped Tour,
Okay,
and
okay,
then they
okay.
also played that one music hall, downtown music
Okay.
hall in
Okay.
Little Rock. I saw them play there, but they're not hardcore at all. They're like
No, they're kind of like
emo adjacent
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. They're
Which
really good.
solid. Oh, dude, I saw a great Warped Tour.
That's
I
awesome.
was talking to Daryl about it actually today
Oh, really?
and last night. Yeah, but yeah, that's my number two.
That's number two. Okay. Now I got to know for number one. Oh man, the pressure's on.
What's
Uh,
it gonna be?
the pressure is on for the number one spot. Going to say that's tough, dude. You kind of want to save it. You kind of want to save because as soon as I say what it is, I'm going to think of something else later. But I guess that's okay.
I wouldn't keep going after number one. It's fun.
Uh,
Since we've been sitting here, I wrote down two more that weren't even on my list to begin with. Like seriously,
um, okay, okay. Well, I think it would go. I think it would. Cause I saw some really good shows. I saw some really good shows at Furnace Fest. Like I can't like deny like the shows that I saw were phenomenal. But at the same time, there's some ones that kind of stick out for nostalgia's sake, whatever. I'm gonna say since I was really, yeah, I'll just keep it. I guess I'll just keep it in the same spirit. I guess. When I saw, oh yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. First time, man, I can't do it. Anyway, it's tough because you
we'll
can't
go
do
on.
it. Okay, okay.
I promise. We'll do honorable mentions and everything
It sucks.
because
It
I got one in my
sucks.
pocket that
It
I'm just like
sucks. It
I want to talk
sucks.
about this.
Um, okay. So I'm a really, I love, I love Sick of It All a lot. I love Sick of It All a lot. So I think one of the highlights for me was getting to see, you know, at that young age, getting to see Sick of It All, and a big, like I was talking earlier about that show because there was a show, it was stacked. It was like we had like it was like Earth Crisis, and you had like Snapcase, and you had this Detroit hardcore band that I love. They were called Ricochet. This dude was just huge. He looked like a homie from Harm's Way. He was wearing this big old Ice T-shirt, and it's just like hard and like Integrity got knocked off the show because they got into it with somebody else. But anyway, to said all that to say, like you know, like Sick of It All headlined, and like that was like my whole reason. That was my first. I remember like my buddy in high school. We're at his house, and he's like into a lot of like, and he's into a lot of everything. Just a lot of this alternative rock. It was the '90s, everything. He goes, hey, you want this? You can keep this. It's like a Sick of It All, like Blood, Sweat, No Tears tape. And
Oh man.
I go, yeah, dude, it's awesome. I was hooked. I go, that was like legitimately the first like hardcore music I owned. So when I heard they were coming to Lost Horizon, I'm like, I'm going. And they played forever. They played forever.
Isn't that great though?
Yeah, it's so great. So I'm like, how could you not? And they're still as good as ever. I mean, I saw them like a couple years back, and they're still as good as ever. But to see them in their prime, though, it's a whole nother world. So anyway, so it's tough, man. I could go forever. Go ahead, buddy.
Oh no, keep going, please.
That's good. That's good.
Isn't it great, like how you can say like, oh, they played forever, but it's still like 30, 45 minutes to us, which is like the greatest thing in
Yeah,
the world.
I was like, yeah, absolutely.
Like I have like friends and like family. They'll go to a show and the band will play for like an hour and a half, and I'm like, how do you stand there for that long? Like I saw Slipknot a couple of years ago. I've been a Slipknot fan since I was 13. Never seen them. Saw them in Bentonville, and I was like, all right, man, like y'all could wrap it up, dude. It's been an hour. I'm tired.
Wasn't I saying that last night? I go, I can't watch a man for an hour and a half. I don't care who it is. I'm not watching you for an hour and a half.
No, yeah, no, not if I'm standing the whole time.
Not if I'm standing.
Not if I'm standing the whole time. Luckily, I saw Slipknot. It was like the road show or whatever, so like it was out at a amphitheater, and so I got to sit down, during the other bands. But Code Orange played, and that was solid. That was the selling point to go. And
Are they good? I've had the hardest time getting to those dudes.
It's tough. It's tough to say because like now they are doing something.
I respect them
completely
if that
new.
means anything.
Oh yeah, like I mean, you could go back to when they were Code Orange kids, and what they were putting out back then, and then putting out what they're doing now, which is like industrial and
Yeah.
I really fell in love with the. I'm not gonna be able to remember the name of that record. It's not the newest one. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to look this up.
No, you're fine. You're
It's
fine. You're fine.
Bug me
No,
to death because it was like I was like on the point
because
1%.
people ride hard for those dudes. I'm like, I honestly try.
Underneath.
Underneath was the band. That was the record.
That was the record for me, but also if you go back and listen to all the like I Am King, woo, that's some
Mercy?
tough stuff, dude.
Okay.
When he was
Okay.
doing vocals and drums at the same time,
Yeah.
you talk about a talented man and like how amazing. Like you'll listen to it and you'll be like, oh, this sounds great, and then you'll watch a live video and be like, he's playing drums while doing that much on vocals and being that intense. Like being a drummer and a vocalist, like myself, like when I saw them play live, like on videos, I never got to see him play drums and do vocals live, but when I saw videos of it, I was like, I had no idea until I watched the video.
That's a revelation for sure when you find
Yeah.
out that it's the drummer who's doing it.
And then the bassist takes all that frontman energy and portrays it like he is a Viking looking man, just tall, big dude, and he is just like a monster, and it's just like so great. And love Code Orange.
Well, uh,
But yeah, man, just I mean, yeah, dude, you see that one band and you're excited.
yeah, for
I
sure.
mean, I love Slipknot's one of my favorite bands ever, dude. And so seeing them is always in top.
You gonna catch them on this thing what they're doing with Knocked Loose?
I looked at the tour dates because they're doing all of everything that was put out in 1999, but nothing comes close.
Yeah, nothing comes close.
Nothing. And because I watched the live video last night. I think they played 2 nights ago, and I literally sat down on my computer and watched the live show last night.
Oh, for real.
Oh yeah, dude. I love that band.
Insanity.
Still crazy how they're still doing it, even with all the drama and stuff like that. Like I have a Joey Jordison snare drum.
Yeah.
That's what I play on
Yeah.
currently.
It's awesome.
With the Slipknot S's on it and everything. Shout out Joey, R.I.P.
Yo, dude.
So, my number one, it's kind of a toss in easy for me. But when I went to go see Have Heart play their last show in Boston, so
Whoa,
So
that's
I'm-
a good one, buddy.
that's my favorite. I was a senior in high school, and I flew out for 3 days in Boston by myself and went to that show. It was great. I'm on the DVD. I'm on YouTube.
Go you. That's
And you-
awesome, buddy.
You'll see me in the first like 20 seconds with like a Razorback beanie on, like looking young.
How close are you?
Oh, I'm on stage. I'm like right there on stage. And then I got on stage later on in the show. Like you'll see me in the first 20 seconds, and then I disappear.
That's awesome, man.
And that was one of my favorite. That is my favorite show of all time. Everybody that played it, Bane, In My Eyes did a set. Uh, Cruel Hand Foundation, Shipwreck played, which
And
Boston
if
Hardcore
anybody don't
Legends.
know, that there was like what 10,000 people were there.
No, that was Sound and Fury when they did
That's
their first comeback show.
what was the deal like with one that showed that the Half Heart had? Like they were in Boston. There was like this massive
It
like
was the biggest hardcore show like ever at
yeah
that point. It was like I think like 2,000 people. I think
2,000. Okay,
I
I
may
saw
be
that.
wrong. I think he says it in the video.
That's insane though.
But yeah, that's I have the DVD of it, the record, because they recorded it. And that's my favorite, just because of what that band meant to me. Just like you, man. Just like
Absolutely.
it's like, oh, I hate to go to it, but it's like, why? Why not? It's what meant the most to you.
Absolutely right. It's what it means to you. And it's like you're emotionally tied to it.
Yeah, dude.
You know,
And
for
now
real.
they're playing shows again, and it's wild to think about. It's like, cool. I mean, I saw Bane on their last tour, quote unquote, and
Quote
now they're
unquote. Yeah.
playing still.
Yeah.
Went to Nashville to see that last tour, and that was cool.
Well, I don't know. I think we should. You want to do one more?
Go for it.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, I was gonna keep it back in the day, I think, because like they're definitely worth mentioning. Oh my gosh, dude. I'm gonna say I'm gonna say shoot. What am I gonna say? I'm gonna say I'll combine these two. I saw I think seeing Quicksand for the first time, was like that was definitely like an experience for me because like again they're still around to this day. They're still playing music, and I think and they're just as good as ever. And they played like their best material was like I mean they're all good. Like all the stuff they've come out with is really good, but to get the chance to hear like them like play songs off like their Revelations 7 inch, and also like off the Slip full length was just like I mean I meant a lot to a kid and it was like 17, 18 years old to get to hear that and just like it's to this day it still holds up. I mean they played at Furnace Fest a couple years ago and I go it's still as good as ever. Like Walter is like one of the best musicians. For him to kind of like that's I think like he played for Gorilla Biscuits and Youth of Today like on the same day, like playing bass for one band, guitar. I'm like, what kind of resume and what is this? Is this real life? What it's just like crazy to belong and just to write song. Like he wrote the songs for Gorilla Biscuits, for that, for that record. I'm like, and he plays bass for Youth of Today, and it's like, so I think that, kind of kind of to look back and go, like years later, 30 years later, and go, yeah, that guy is still the same. That guy's the same guy who played when you were 17, 18 years old. So anyway, it's just wild. Especially when you've kind of had those miles underneath your belt to kind of
Yeah.
see that in like in retrospect.
Isn't it cool to like kind of see that 20 years later, or however long later, and still get those feelings and
Oh,
that you had when
absolutely.
you were
Yeah.
like 17, 18, and still like in your brain just be like, man, I'm still the kid I used to be, and I still
Oh yeah.
have that like that burning desire in my heart, and
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
it's so cool.
It's so cool because like I'm just and I'll combine it with like Shelter. 'Cause that was the first time I saw Shelter, and it kind of went full circle when I saw like Ray Capo like doing like Youth of Today at Furnace Fest. And I go because I missed the times I missed because he did something that I missed in hardcore for a while, and maybe bands are doing it, maybe they're not, but like some things what he was doing during the Youth of Today, what he would do for Shelter, he would like talk from the heart about things. You know what I'm saying? Like people would say like stop preaching or whatever, but he would say like really important things that really meant a lot to people. Like this, because the songs they wrote are about something really important, especially Youth of Today.
Yeah.
It's about having like a positive mental attitude and things like that, and like and uh and and he's kind of like that's kind of like been his ethos all his life is kind of like using these maxims and these principles and these values to kind of like that's why he did the whole thing in the first place. So I really appreciated that, and like he did that at Furnace Fest. So I was like, that was a breath of fresh air.
If you have a platform, use it.
If you have a platform, use it. So
I mean,
like,
that's the most important thing, is to speak from the heart.
speak from the heart. Yeah.
And if it's for a justly cause and for a just feeling, and
Yeah.
if you can touch somebody, that's all what this is all
Yeah,
about.
because hardcore is really more than, I mean, it was more than the music and everything else. I mean, these sometimes they came from like difficult places, but also came from places that like places of substance. So it's like, yo, I would like to hear what this where this song is coming from, So anyway, I could go on and on about that, but anyway,
And that's what this platform's here for.
yeah, that's what
Just
it's
to
here
talk
for.
about it,
Yeah,
man. To let other people know that you're not alone, and that 20 years later, 30 years later, like you're still feeling the same about subjects and about songs and about feelings that you had, and
oh
and
yeah,
how you've grown and everything like that.
yeah,
That's why it's cool that you're doing this, and that
yeah.
it's we're older now, and people may not be going to shows that need to be going to shows. You need to go to shows. Everybody
They
out
need to
there.
be going to
Uh,
shows.
so I mean, it's cool, that they're still getting a message, or still feeling like they're
Well,
not alone. Like,
Well, the thing is exactly right. I think it's also too. I think there's a common thread, especially with this episode. I really believe a whole lot is there's the passion. There's something. If you're not passionate about something, believing something with like with all your heart, you believe it to your bone and everything, and that's and for those who find it, it's it kind of breathes new life into you. It's like especially if you find friends who are kind of like found the same thing. Well, just like you said earlier, you're gonna have these friends for life.
oh yeah,
So it's a good place to be.
I mean,
Go ahead, man. What you got? A bonus.
a bonus. We're getting deep. We are getting deep, sir. Uh, Man, I will say one kind of coming from like I'm gonna just ride your coattails, man. Is I saw the Carrier in Little Rock, and I
Yeah.
don't know if you're a Carrier fan.
Yeah,
Carrier
dude. Yeah,
fan.
they're good.
Man, you talk about intense live. I mean, I saw him in Little Rock. Basically, nobody was there, And funny story, they were supposed to play with another melodic hardcore band that I was really a fan of called Carpathian. Carpathian.
Okay, yeah.
They're from Australia, I believe.
Whoa.
And they were supposed to play. They were on Death Wish. Found them on a Death Wish teaser, whatever. Fell in love with them. Melodic, darker, kind of like the Carrier. That was
Cool.
also on Death Wish.
Cool.
But they broke up right before that tour.
Oh,
I was so upset. So I drove down from Fayetteville to go to this show, and
dude.
this vocalist, just like he reminds me like his stature, like of my buddy Dom, was a rugby player for ASU, just a stacked, just kind of like the Harm's Way vocalist, dude, just like
Sweet.
solid, and he was that way from Boston.
Love
And
it.
the Carrier is a little bit darker,
They are.
melodic than like Have Heart and other bands like My Life Is Ward. But we were headbutting each other, screaming into the mic, and his like, I'll never forget like the mic being on my teeth,
Whoa.
like because we were just right there together, and he just like put it in my face, and like dude, those songs like resonate with me so much, and
Love it.
I love that band, and I got to see him that one time, and dude, never forget that show.
There's no genre like hardcore.
Absolutely not.
There's nothing.
That's why I don't listen to anything else, man. I listen to hip hop. I mean, obviously, but like, nothing can ever compare.
I know. I think it was the vocalist from Incendiary who was like talking about that. He said there's no other genre that we'll never ever compete with like hardcore show. Like where it kind of this kind of like where there's no separation between the band, and the people out on the floor or on the stage, whatever. And I go, absolutely not. As far as like the movements and the whole culture and like this mic is your mic, and just like running on stage and just I mean, you see, it's a big reminder because I watch like these clips from Sound and Fury, and I'm like, this is a beautiful thing, and it's I always reminded of it every year we go to Furnace Fest. It's like this is a beautiful thing. This is this like there is no separation, there is no gap, and the fact that like you're singing it, it reminded me of the time I saw Haste Today back at the Caravan, and
Oh wow.
and like I remember in that one song, he sung like a song off the demo or something like that before like their solid state release. And I remember trying to tackle the dude. I knew it was their last song. Trying to tackle the dude. So I jump off one of the speakers to tackle the dude. And what's his name? I forgot his name. Jamie or something. Anyway, I tackle him. He turns me over and he's like leaned over me. I'm on the floor. He's just like leaning over me, just screaming in my face. And like, this is hardcore, man. This is the best.
That is intense.
It's incredible, and like, that's something I would have spent my last, 10, even if I don't eat tonight, it's like I would not have missed that for the world,
Not at all.
It's crazy, dude. I could go on and on, dude. I could go on and on. We saw Evergreen Terrace in Me and my buddy Steven, we drove 6 hours. We went to go see 7 hours. We drove to Cleveland, Tennessee to see Evergreen Terrace. That's before that was the closest they'd ever come. So I'm like, I'm gonna go see these dudes.
Absolutely, you got to go.
I was like, you gotta go. So this is like the first release that they did on Eulogy, and they played with they played with 1/5 and Rifles at Recess, and it's just like it's nuts, dude. I was like, and some other band I always feel bad for forgetting, but like, yeah, dude, like met the world, and now you see Josh, he's playing for he's playing, he's doing like guitar work for 18 Visions and things like that. It's crazy, dude. Yeah, he lives in LA or
I
wherever.
didn't even know that. That's
Yeah, so
insane.
yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. But I don't know, man.
It's so wild that like oh man, we can go on and on.
I could go on.
To go about like 18 Visions, but also just like look at like what Fall Out Boy got in trouble for because of American Nightmare, like stealing lyrics from American Nightmare, essentially. It's crazy how all like everything stems from like hardcore, and like look at My Chemical Romance.
I know.
I mean, you can find videos of them in hardcore scenes. You can find I think it's Tim from Tim and Eric, like playing in Ink and Dagger, I think.
What's crazy? There's there's all kinds of links from to these bands that are like links to the hardcore scene. It's crazy. Things I didn't even think about. But anyway, I don't know.
I had to fact check myself on that really quick, but it was Eric, I think. I don't know.
Well, shoot. I think we got covered. We'll probably need to do another one.
May do another one?
You want me as far as I mean like another episode.
Oh, another episode.
We're gonna have to do it. We have to do another one sometime because I love reminiscing on like shows like you've been to, because like some of these I didn't even think about. Like it took my brain to kind of go back in time to think about these other these shows. Some of these I ain't thought about in years, but now that I'm starting to like think about them, other shows are starting to pop up in my head. Like, remember that show? Remember that show? So that's just kind of what's happening right now.
Oh yeah, you were like, I don't know if I can think of 5, and then it was like,
think of 5,
boom, you're at like 8 now.
I knew once we kind of get going, he wouldn't stop. But no, dude.
I could sit here and talk about shows forever.
Same.
Bands and
same here.
It's just cool to think like looking back 20 years ago that like still in it, still part of it, still want to do it, still listening to it, and supporting it, and that's what it's all about, man.
Anytime you want, share something with me on Instagram or whatever.
Thank you for having me. First off,
bro,
shout out to this man right here.
I appreciate that.
This is amazing. I've listened to almost every episode.
Awesome,
I keep
dude.
up with it. I wait for the post on Friday. I was talking to Julian last night. I was like, I don't think we're getting an episode tomorrow, but I'm gonna be here. So I'm excited. Shout out to you, man.
Yo, dude, I appreciate that. It means the world to have my friends on talking about shit. And this is
Miss Finn as well,
especially because she's the one that makes it sound cool.
Oh, you're gonna have a really hard time making me sound cool. I am lame.
She has all the legwork as far as like for all the edits and everything else. But hey, we got new equipment and everything. No, she does a great job for making as far as the aesthetic of 870 and the way it sounds and everything else. All I do is just grab a mic and start talking. So that's my contribution to it. So
well, thank y'all so much for doing this.
Oh,
This is great. I'm so stoked to be here and to be asked to be here, and it's great.
It's awesome to have people in my home. That's like the best thing in the world.
Yeah, I just live 30 minutes away, man.
Yeah,
holler at me.
Yeah, I can. And whenever you're going to if you have any like pop-ups that are close by, we need to go on like Popper Bluff or something for sure. That skate park is so nice. I love that place.
Oh, that plaza is unreal.
Yeah, dude. It is. Yeah, it's very fast. Oh yeah, it's very fast.
They're doing September Slam in September. Dirty puts it on, so we'll be there.
Really?
I'll send you the flyer when he gets it.
Okay, but so before we get going, let's make sure you promote and anything you got, anything Boards got, anything you got going that needs to be announced that people need to know about.
Oh yeah, just Board Skate Co. BORED Skate Co.
Okay.
Follow us on Instagram. We have a web store.
You have great socks.
We do have great socks.
That video for the socks is fantastic.
Thank you. It's actually the same commercial we did last year for socks.
It's so awesome.
We just wanted to redo it. it's fun, man. It's fun. Just, I went to school for business management and marketing.
Yeah.
So, like,
You're doing a good job,
I just
man.
do-
It's perfect.
it's so much fun
good.
doing this. I love it. And
What? What'd you say?
holler at me. I was a business consultant for a few years, so like, just holler. I'll do whatever I can to
You
help
can
you
totally tell. You can totally tell.
out.
So you should get like an acting gig. Like you should be like, hey, you'd be good. Hey, you gotta do an acting gig or something.
I've always wanted to be an actor.
You'd be good at it.
I've always been told that I have a face for radio, though. There we go. But
Yeah.
no, this has been great.
You're golden.
Follow Board Skate Co if you want to. Shout out to everyone.
Okay.
I'm gonna go down a shout out list though.
Go for it. You
All
got the mic.
Julian, I love you. Jimmy, you the man. Tolik and Wes, thank you for always bullying me and going to hardcore shows. Everybody can get over it. Clifford, Daryl, I love you. You're the best. I'll never forget Daryl working at Sam Goody, man.
No.
Never. And then working at Backbeat. I let him borrow an American hardcore copy of the book when I was in like high school, and
Really.
that's my guy. Dude, I was talking to him earlier today and last night.
He's legit, man.
Shout out to Hartley and Doug as well. Absolutely love those two guys. We played a lot of fun stuff together, lived together for a while, and shout out to them for making me the man I am today. And yeah, just shout out to everybody.
Absolutely.
Also,
Appreciate that. That's
love
cool, man.
yourself.
Yo. So shout out to all those dudes. Thank you, Abe, coming by.
Anytime.
And by the way, Abe brought pizza. We were gonna cook dinner, but Abe's like, I'll do one better. I will bring over Domino's.
That's right. They're hosting me, so I gotta bring something to the table.
You're good, man. Well, listen, man. I love you. I think you're great. I would love to talk to you here all day. I'm not going to because I got a thing I got to do. And till next time, my friend, you take care.
You as well, sir.
All right, buddy.
Peace.
Peace. Bye.
After a while, because you don't want to work with me anymore. Okay.